Lift your hands, everybody. Team, begin to lead us as we worship the Lord. Come on.
We're crying out to you, God. We need you now, yeah. We're crying out to you, God. But we know you can do it. You're the God who never changes. You're the God who is eternal. Yeah. We cry out to the God who never changes. We cry out to the God who is eternal. We cry out to the only one who's able to deliver, restore, and heal our land. We cry out to the God who never changes. We cry out to the God who is eternal. We cry out to the only one who's able to deliver, restore, and heal our land. We're calling out to you. Our souls long for you. You're the only one forever faithful. You're the God who's always To the God who never changes, we cry out. To the God who is eternal, we cry out. To the only one who's able to deliver, restore, and heal. Come on, church, let me hear you. We cry out. To the God who never changes, to the God who is eternal, to the only one, restore and heal our land. See, we're calling out for it. So long for you. You're the God. Yes, we're calling out to you. Anybody want to lift up their hands and say?
Information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Trinidad, it's back for 2 nights only. The explosive hit comedy stage play by Alan Charles. Why Didn't I Get Married? It's not good for a man to be alone. But what about the black woman? Is the church guilty of keeping women single? Or is there really a man shortage? Come laugh, cry, and think at a show that's more than a play. It's a conversation, not for the easily offended. Saturday, 1st November, 7 p.m. at USC Auditorium, Maracas, St. Joseph. Sunday, 9th November, 6 p.m. at Sapa, San Fernando. Tickets for the USC campus, $200 in advance, $225 at the door. Tickets for Sapa, $225 in advance, and $250 at the door. Get them at USC campus, A&A Pharmacy, Port of Spain, Maranatha Bookshop, San Fernando, Living Legacy Pharmacy, Arima, or online at theticketsellers.co.uk. Why Didn't I Get Married? Don't miss the comedy that everyone will be talking about. Brought to you by the University of the Southern Caribbean and Focus Arts Promotions.
I recall more than 3 decades ago, a senior telecommunications manager, let's call him Michael. And Michael was assigned to the task of presenting the government's position at a regional conference. Michael struggled and visibly trembled, especially since he presented after the retired North American ambassador, who had the audience in stitches, laughing up every word. I'm Dr. Madonna Dodd. And I made a silent vow then to help people like Michael, who are technically competent, but who struggle and succumb to fear when speaking in public. Now, as a communications architect, I partner with organizations and individual leaders to transform their leadership presence, including the way they express themselves. So, if your goal is to amplify your authentic voice, influence others, and lead with confidence, join me from October 28th to November 11th for our Communicate with Confidence online course. To all the Michaels, it's possible to overcome fear, step fully into your role, and lead with confidence.
During our 3 weeks course, I gained a lot of knowledge and insight on how to communicate with confidence using the different techniques and skills taught. Another thing that resonated for me is the fact that the same way singers prepare their voice, increase their lung capacity by eating healthy, doing the necessary breathing exercises, is the same way someone who is going to present should also prepare their voice. For persons who are interested in participating in this course, I say go for it, because you too will be able to find your coping skills, or how the runners and they psych up themselves when they're on the start line before they start to be focused to finish that race. You would be able to find your coping mechanism.
You give your hand to me and let me say hello, and now can hardly speak. My heart is beating so, and everyone can tell. You think you know me well, you don't know me.
Hey guys, I am Nigel O'Connor, a singer for all seasons. I am that voice that moves you for every occasion. I am that voice that celebrates life moments one note at a time. I am Nigel O'Connor. You can contact me at 783-0054 or 754-3154. And oh yes, that's me singing in the background.
Nowadays I'm not speaking song.
Greetings to you, Prime Minister. This letter is just for you. My intention was to give you this letter when election was true. But since Dr. Rowley was stepping down, I figured I couldn't wait. I'm reading it now.
I'm reading it now.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
I hear people say the PNM wasting the nation's time. I hear people say the UNC will scrape every last dime. And some couldn't choose between bad and worse, so I had to write this plea for the next leader of this country. Cause we need to see a nation full of success. We need a leader addicted to progress, someone who's not here for the money and always giving us transparency. A leader with a clear destination and a direction. We was see most respectfully to whom this may be. Some people say bad politics slowing this nation down, and some people say implementation nation is where we does go wrong. But I say that they both are true, and that's what we need to see to fix our style of democracy. Some people say this moving world keeps on evolving, and some people say our infrastructure needs some upgrading. That's why I hope this letter you read for these issues to resolve, so sweetie auntie could start to evolve. Cause we need to see ministries that competent, information you'll get in 10 seconds, public servants who will answer the phone and give you advice with a pleasant tone. A bank run should take you the whole day. It's time we stop playing that war we was see.
That war we was see.
Most respectfully,
To whom this may be.
ba 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 de. Ba 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 da. I used to play I was sheriff when I was a little boy, but when I see they arrested Earla, I'm glad my gun was just a toy. It reminds me there are few ways up and 1,000 ways to fall. That's not just for one, but that goes for all. Many leaders in this land could be guilty or innocent, and it's hard for the people to truly know, so they will judge your intent. So before you walk in that big office, take a look at your character and have a long chat with Almighty Father. Cause we need to see power without ego. Take a ride on the bus, let people know. Don't be too much on your high horse, but be confident whenever time calls. Careful how much your leaders put one pot. Them things have to stop. Thy war we was see.
That war we was see.
Most respectfully,
To whom this may be.
ba 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 de. I'm sure by now you will notice this is written in the future tense, with hopes that you are a leader of great poise and great resilience, one who structures T&T with its local policies, not from global powers, but what the nation needs. I'm not going to lecture you on what's right and what is wrong, but I ask you based on the people's needs, keep your ears down on the ground. And don't be like Gillian Bishop and not care what the people think, cause you could still learn from the babes and sucklings. Cause we need to see TNT in the World Cup. Innovation from young people don't stop. A culture industry to hang the emblem high, so soca go stop trying to eat the pie. A leader who strike fear into criminals, that is critical. Thy war we was see.
That war we was see.
Most respectfully,
To whom this may be.
ba 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 de.
good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to those of you locked on to Constructive Talk. Yep, this evening I promised you that I will have my member of parliament with me, Mr. Brian Manning, and he is on the line, He waiting to come in. He waiting to rush like a pit bull, ready to rumble. But before we do that, I want to just say thank you to all of you who join me every night. I watch back at the review and I see how many of you come on, 6,000, 8,000. We have a lot of persons who look at the video, who look at the program, the after views, and even those of you who come on, the 1,000 of you and more. I want to especially say thank you very, very, very much to those of you for taking the time out to be a part of Constructive Talk. And let me say thank you to a gentleman by the name of Mr. Lloyd, Mr. Lloyd Burnett and his wife, Miss Carleen Burnett, and all of the other persons in Couva, all over Trinidad and Tobago. So as I promised you yesterday, I'm going to try to get my member of parliament with me this evening, and he like constructive talking. Hello, good evening, Mr. Manning.
Hello, good evening, Pastor Google. Good evening to your listeners. I hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, everybody's doing well now that they're hearing from you.
Yeah, well, I was happy to be here with the voice of San Fernando, Pastor Google himself.
Mama guy thing.
I don't know why you keep denying your superstar status.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, it's a pleasure to have you on Constructive Talk. Well, you were supposed to have you during the budget, but we see you all were you all deal with them. You all dealt with them in the budget debate. You all dealt with them in the finance committee. You all still dealing with them. Talk to me. What was that experience like?
No, it was embarrassing for the government. It was a total evisceration of that budget because it made no sense. And anybody who understands the economy of this country or anything could tell that this budget didn't make any sense and that it was just, as we said, fake and fraudulent. There's nothing in there to make anybody happy. I heard the Minister of Finance say that he spent the last 30 years studying the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. And then in his first budget, maiden voyage, he presents a host of new or increased taxes. And there's nothing innovative in it. There's nothing new. There's no additional source of revenue. It's just more and more taxes to really erode the cost of living in Trinidad and the quality of life in Trinidad and Tobago. Sad to say.
Wow. So this evening, what I would like for you to do, first of all, before we get into it, I want to congratulate you because I'm sure a lot of persons would have met you and told you that you did a fantastic job. First of all, in debating with the debate of the budget, you were one of the outstanding voices within the debate of the budget. That's one. And two, in the finance committee, I listened to you, and you could have. What I want to point out is that you were asking questions in such a way that the man on the ground could understand.
Exactly. That's what Parliament is about.
Right, and I appreciated that you would have not just asked questions because you're an economist. Economy is your thing. So you could have tear them up with that language, with those jargons and take them down into a rabbit hole and spin them around and do all kind of thing with them. But you choose to come across as how a man on the ground will want to ask a question. You choose to ask it in those and in that manner. And I want to commend you where that is concerned.
Thank you. And it's also because of that they couldn't pull the wool over our eyes, right? They couldn't come with nonsense and pretend that this was a people's budget. And we know that it's just full of taxes that's going to harm the average Trinbagonian. I tell people, budget time is my Christmas. Right? I've been going through budgets, for the longest while when I was a child and my father was in budget debates and so on. And I felt my contribution in Parliament for this budget, I felt like I had that inside of me, like waiting to come out for about 20 years, because I had to sit back
Wow.
and watch this UNC government undermine every aspect of my father's vision for this country to generate revenues, the smelter, all the other projects. All they did for the past 20 years was
To
try to
generate
obstruct
revenues, the smelter,
and just
all the
undermine everything. And that is one of the reasons why we have the economy that we have now. So and I felt that I had to come out and say something, let them and the people of this country know that we're not blind and we see what you've been doing, and the economy that you have right now in government is the one that you deserve. The only sad part is that a lot of our citizens are also going to suffer along with them. And this is the economy that the UNT has earned.
Wow. So talk to us. The budget.
Yeah.
There are things that are in that budget that there are some persons are still wondering and questioning about. All right. For example, the rental tax.
Yes.
Explain that a little more for
income.
us.
Well, if you're a landlord, they call it the landlord tax, which I said is the property tax by another name, right? If you're a landlord, you're going to have to register with the BR with a $2,500 registration fee, I believe it is, and then you're going to have to pay, I think, a 2.5 and 3.5% tax on your income, on the income you receive from being a landlord, which is exactly what the previous government had offered in terms of property taxes, except it would have been cheaper. What the previous government had offered was a 2% tax on annual rental value, which is the same as annual rental income. And this was after a 10% discount on the amount charged. So, they come to try to fool people talking about landlord tax. Not a landlord tax. It is a property tax. And of course, the landlord is going to pass that expense on to renters. And as an MP in San Fernando, I meet with so many people who are renting, and it's difficult. You just fired 30, 40,000 people, most vulnerable people in the country in CPF and URP. You had no program to replace it at all. And now you're also increasing taxes on rents. You're increasing electricity, right? You're increasing taxes on imports, all containers, 100% increase. It's going to increase the cost of living across the board for everyone. And they're trying to pretend like this is some, they give you $1 for regular gas. They try to pretend that this is a people's budget. That is not so. That is just total deception on their part.
What about the gas, the cooking gas? How do you see
LPG.
that LPG gas? How do you see that affecting small business owners, small restaurants, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've tried for years to maintain a subsidy on LPG to protect poor people in this country for years, because we understand that some poor communities they're more likely to use LPG, right? So we try to keep that price low to protect citizens in this country. As soon as they come in, they increase the taxes on that also. So how are you saying that you're protecting the poor when you're at every turn increasing the cost of living for poor people in this country? Previous PNM budgets would have a theme that, you would get tax increases in certain places, but we always try to protect the poor and vulnerable at the same time. And you could see that. You could see the care taken in developing some of the fiscal measures and so on in protecting poor people. We even increased the exception on income. It used to be if you made $5,000 and less per month, you paid zero in income taxes. We even increased that during some of the most difficult financial times to $7,500 monthly on income. So if you made that or less, you paid absolutely nothing in income taxes, because we were trying to protect poor people in this country. This government, without a care, just raised taxes on some of the most vulnerable people, and it's going to affect everyone.
Well, this is why, for some people, because I was having a debate with someone when it was last week, and they were telling me that this budget is a businessman budget. This is for the business people.
Not even, not even how did they benefit? There's an increase in electricity. If you're in the manufacturing sector, and that's what I say, there's no rhyme or reason. They just increase taxes across the board. Our manufacturing sector is the second largest, so the number one largest generator of foreign exchange outside of the oil and gas industry. They increase the electricity tax, which is a major cost for manufacturers in this country. It's also one of the reasons that we attract foreign direct investment because of our low electricity costs. So if you increase that, how are people supposed to be competitive? So not even business people benefited from it. So you increase the cost of everything. Every container coming in this country is 100% increase in duty. How is that beneficial to anyone? You know, there's no rhyme or reason. They're just desperate for funds, so they just raise taxes on everybody without thinking. There's no theme. There's no sense to it. There's nothing but callousness.
Well, we are seeing now where the Minister of Finance has instructed the CPO to meet with the union.
Yeah.
What is your take on this? Where you see this going?
Yeah, I think the PSA president is completely clueless, but also complicit with this government. And for the PSA president to come out after all of this and call this, champion this as a people's budget, is just nothing short of selling out. She has sold out her membership to the United National Congress because it makes no sense. I don't know a single public servant in this country that is happy with the increase in retirement age to age 65. Though that may have been proposed, and that is maybe a necessary step to improve the fund, it doesn't mean that anybody's happy with it. There's no public servant happy with that. She comes out here and says it's a people budget and does not even want to say what is her position on the increase in retirement age and increase in contribution to NIS. She won't say a word about that. She just wants to talk about the 10% which they have not received, and we have shown in the budget that there's not even an allocation for increased 10%. So if they're going to the CPO to discuss the increase in wages, and it's starting at 10%, wouldn't the government have at least included a 10% increase in salary for public servants? Wouldn't they have at least done that? We saw in the Standing Finance Committee that no such allocation was made. So good luck. Let's see what happens with that.
Well, but they're saying that
I wouldn't.
they're expecting their back pay by Christmas, you know.
That is madness.
So that is one of the questions I really wanted for you to explain to the listeners on Constructive Talk. Explain to us, how is this process done?
That is not possible. It's not possible. You have to fill out the forms. Excuse me. You have to add all. I mean, I was part of that exercise
Right.
maybe a year or two ago.
Right.
We did the same thing. It took months. If you remember, there was the PS at the Ministry of Education who was removed. Was moved from that position because he said it couldn't be done. It was night and day. We had to bring in consultants, bring in people on contract to work on that to get it done, and it still went over the deadline. There is no possible way they start today that public servants will be receiving 10% increase by Christmas. That is just not possible. So I hope nobody out there is fooling themselves waiting for a salary increase before Christmas. It's not happening.
Well, to be honest with you, Mr. Manning, there are people who really believe the minister and who really believe the union president, you know.
Yeah, well, listen, every payment has to be approved in the national budget process. Has to come to Parliament, a vote has to be taken, and that is how spending is approved. You can't just decide to spend money how you want and how you feel. It has to be approved to Parliament. There's no 10% salary increase included in this year's budget. The only way that can happen is if we come back during mid-year review and then approve having that additional 10%. So there's definitely no possible way you're going to get any increase or any back pay before that point. So it's definitely not going to happen by Christmas. I can tell you with 100% certainty, you're not going to get any back pay or any increase in salary before Christmas. It's not happening.
Mr. Manning.
Don't let the PSA president fool you with nonsense.
Mr. Manning.
That lady enjoy calling my name, but she just is a stranger to the truth. And I will expose her every chance I get because she is not being honest.
But Mr. Manning, Mr.
No,
Manning,
tell the truth.
look, on
Tell
a
the truth.
serious note, there are public servants who are believing, you know.
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. The lady does not tell the truth. And it's sad. And that is why we shouldn't have politicized trade unions in the first place. Because instead of serving the members of the trade union, they start serving their political masters. They start serving the UNC. They undermine and destroy the TTRA. When the TTRA was maybe the best bet for this government to increase its revenues on a short-term basis. The PSA president assisted them in doing that. That was 20 years of work. They've been going back and forth with the TTRA for almost 20 years. PSA president with a mindless self assisted the UNC in eradicating something that was going to be extremely beneficial to the people of this country. It would have closed a tax gap of almost $10 billion that could have easily paid public servants an increase in salary. But she couldn't care less. A UNC member said jump, and she asked how high. And that was it. That is how they did things. And that is sad. I expect more from our trade unions, and I expect them to look out for members and not to just sing and dance for their support from the UNC.
Yeah, so did you manage to hear the news yesterday where the minister would have indicated that he know that there is some things that the CPU has to wrap up, but he knows that this is going to happen.
What's going to happen?
The payment.
So there's no payment. It has to be approved in the national budget. We asked the question directly. Is the 10% increase for salary for public servants included in this budget? The answer was a firm and direct no. So I don't know how he or anybody else could say that. It has to be approved by Parliament. It can't happen by secret. And that hasn't happened.
So are you saying that these people are fooling the people of Trinidad and Tobago?
What's new? It was a campaign of lies. You go on social media, every page is filled with their bots and trolls spreading lies. This is a government of lies. This is what they do.
All right.
This is what they do. This should be no surprise here at all.
Mr. Manning, listen to me, right? You see, while I hear you, I agree with you, I understand, I know what you're saying is the truth. But there are some people who are like sitting ducks, you know. They are really believing and waiting to see if...
After Google,
okay.
Everyone is allowed to dream. Okay? Don't pop people bubble, let them see for themselves. Okay? Everyone is allowed to dream. Including the Minister of Finance and the PSA President. It is not happening, folks. It's not.
I don't know what to say now.
There's no allocation. It can't happen if there's no allocation. The question was asked and answered. Is there an allocation for a 10% salary increase at minimum for members of the public service? No, there is not. You could go through the video yourself. It's on YouTube. Take a look.
Mr. Manning, I think people are still believing that something could happen.
As I said, everyone is allowed to dream.
Let me tell you something, eh?
I'm not here to burst anybody bubble.
You have burst, but you're bursting people bubble, Mr. Manning.
So I telling the truth. This government has burst people's bubble with bold-faced untruths, along with their PSA friend.
Mr. Manning, I can't even move from this discussion here now. Because, all right, okay, no. Just carry us through one more time the process in which these people can get, or there is, how do they go about getting their back pay and all these different things?
First, you have to calculate, for the period. So they have scorecards. It's not even computerized. It's a manual system. We had to hire rooms of people who work around the clock from across the public service and externally on contract to work 24 hours a day for almost 2 or 3 months just to get many of the public service their back pay. This was a year or two ago. We had to go through that process. We're already in November. It is not possible, but even if it were possible, the allocation has to come to the national budget. That has to be approved. We asked the government, is there a 10% salary increase allocation in this year's budget? The answer was no, there is none. The next time that they could possibly add any kind of 10% increase in salary or back pay to the national budget would be at the mid-year review, which is 6 months from the approval of this budget, 6 months from now.
I know.
So, good luck. All right, so while you're enjoying your alcohol with 100% increase in taxes and everything that you enjoy imported, raise in price because they add 100% tax to all containers at the port, you can mull about all the money you thought you would get and didn't get.
Mr. Manning, I hear you, but this government does things differently, man.
No, they do things fraudulently, not differently. You're being too kind. They're just not telling the truth. They don't do things differently. They're not telling the truth. Why you being so nice? See, that's your problem. Your mommy raised you too nice.
Your mommy raised you nice too?
Not at all. I learned better. I grew up playing basketball in Marabella. You have to be tough.
So you are saying that Trinidad and Tobago, to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, hey, this 10% that you all are expecting for Christmas, relax all yourself. Don't do that, yes, man. Man, no, seriously, man. Seriously.
I try not to laugh. I'm sorry.
No, you see, I want to play it for you, I would like to play it for you to hear what was said.
I would like to hear it because I can't believe you really said that.
What do you mean? Who said it? Who you can't believe?
The Minister of Finance. Is that who you're referring to?
No, I want to play the news. I want to play the news story for you because, Mr. Manning, you can't do the people have this.
So why you keep saying I can't? It's not me. When I was there, everybody was getting their money every month on time and in full. Now the Minister of Finance always a day late and $1 short. That's not my fault.
What is causing that though? Because they're saying that it's because
they don't have the money, sir. They don't have the money. That's why they don't have the money. There's a shortage of revenue. That's what they don't want to tell you. They are short on funds, which is why they're adding taxes to everything. But it's so senseless because what they don't realize is that at a point of taxation, afterwards there's something called diminishing returns. You don't just add a whole heap of taxes and expect to generate more revenue. It just doesn't work like that. But this Minister of Finance is clueless. He does not know that. And that's all they did, increase taxes on everything because they're desperate for revenues. But it doesn't mean that they're going to get the revenues that they want.
Mr. Manning, I would like to play for you the news item last night that I am referring to. That I believe
who's speaking?
The Minister of Finance and the union.
Okay, willing to listen.
Are you willing to listen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So take a listen to the news, and then you would tell me. Then it could boost people bubble for this Christmas, Mr. Manning. But I think
not something I take delight in, but I have to tell people the truth.
I think
because there's just too much misinformation going around.
I just think you're being a little harsh.
I wish I was.
All right.
I had a meeting in Taradale the other day talking about the national budget, and I was trying to find something in there positive to tell the good people, something that they can look forward to, and I honestly couldn't find a single thing. There's not one thing in that budget that anybody should be happy about because it doesn't put any money in your pocket. It doesn't create jobs. It doesn't create an opportunity for your children or the future of this country. It's all about increasing revenues through additional taxes. That is all it is about. Nothing else.
All right. Well, let's hear what the minister had to say and what the union president had to say. Cool?
Sure.
All right.
Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku has given the green light for the Chief Personnel Officer to proceed with the proposed 10% wage negotiations for public servants. However, Tanku acknowledged that the CPO still has a few prerequisites to finalize before face-to-face negotiations with the Public Services Association can begin. Therefore, the minister could not provide an exact date for negotiations to commence. However, PSA President Felicia Thomas is anticipating that the meeting with CPO Commander Dr. Daryl Dindial could happen within the next few days.
So they were in the process of doing the calculations. I anticipate that probably by the end of this week, early next week, we should be getting a response from the CPO, but nevertheless, I will be following up with further correspondence.
Thomas explained that the 10% increase will be split over 2 negotiating periods, meaning a 5% increase for the 2014 to 2016 period and another 5% for the 2017 to 2019 period. The PSA president said she is still confident her members will get their back pay by Christmas.
Calculation should have been done for 4%. It is just a matter of adjusting the calculation already done to cater for 10%. So notwithstanding the minister has announced to put an offer of 10%, we would still have to discuss distribution, whether it be 311.
Meanwhile, Minister Tanku said he would be unable to provide an estimated cost for these negotiations as the process has to be completed first.
All right. So, back with you,
the Minister of Finance refuses to give any definitive answer because he knows full well that he can't. It's just the PSA president is lost in space. She's drinking the Kool-Aid. She's believing in nonsense. But the Minister of Finance not going to come out and make a definitive statement saying yes, because it isn't there. The funds are not there. Negotiations could begin, but they cannot pay out salary increases and back pay by Christmas. That's not happening. The calculations alone is how many thousands of public servants. The calculations alone will take weeks. It doesn't work that way, and the PSA president should know better.
Well, I don't know what to say now.
Yeah, it's deception. That's all it is. And the PSA president wants to talk about everything except the relevant issues. She just want to talk about the $1 reduction in regular fuel and the 10%. The 10% that they have not received and is not included in this year's national budget. But she doesn't want to talk about the other aspects of the budget, how the poor and working class are affected. They don't want to talk about all the thousands of CPAP and URP workers that are now unemployed. And you know that many of the unions, especially the PSA, would represent persons in this country who they believe have been unfairly terminated from employment. You know, the PSA and their lawyers have regularly done that in this country. They're not a single offer of assistance to the CPAP and URP workers. Not one. Or forestry workers, nothing, zero. That sounds like a union represents workers in this country, laborers in this country. Absolutely not. They represent themselves. They represent the PSA president representing herself. Just like her colleague, the former PSA president, who's now the Minister of Labor. They're representing themselves, not their membership.
Wow. So, Mr. Manning, you were saying, based on what you heard from the news item, is that the union president, not so much the minister, but the union president is misleading her members.
Either she is misled or she's intentionally misleading the people of this country. Because what she's saying simply isn't true. That is certain.
But you hear where the Christmas vibes come in?
Sir, one more time, read my lips. It is not happening. Cannot get it by Christmas. If they start calculations now, it might finish somewhere in January. You have to, how many people in the public service? 100,000? Whatever the number is. You have to remember it's teachers, police, fire, army. I had to go through all of this in the process 2 years ago. It is no easy task. You have to add up all of those people, all the people who would have retired since then. You have to go back and do all of those calculations, and it is not computerized. So not possible.
I'm lost for words,
Insane.
I am lost for words. This is.
Yeah, I hear the craziest things of some of these guys in government. I heard the Minister of Labor say that the more people added to the public service will increase NIS contributions and improve the fund. I would say this man doesn't understand basic mathematics, because if you increase the number of people added to the fund, you also increase the number of beneficiaries, which is the problem. Trinidad and Trinbagonians are living longer, healthier lives, and that way they're accessing huge benefits from the NIS fund, and that's why one of the prescriptions is an increase in retirement age, not just an increase in the number of people making payments. That's not going to solve the problem, because if you increase the number of people contributing to the fund, you also increase the number of people who are going to receive benefits on the other side of the fund. The Minister of Labor, who's supposed to be in charge of all of these issues, didn't understand that. He didn't understand. He had 1 + 1 and get 22 somehow. And saying that to intelligent people.
But that's not basically, when you listen to the Minister of Homeland Security.
Still, that man didn't know 12 months in a year. Right? When I say square pegs and round holes. He didn't know 12 months in a year.
All right, but could you have
Saddam didn't know the metric system. Right? That is what we're dealing with.
All right, so let me ask you this. Could it be, right, as a minister, you may not be familiar, or let's say I want to use kind words. You may not be as illiterate with the system. Could the government in any way
I don't know what question you're trying to ask here. You're so trying to be nice. I don't know what question you're trying to ask.
All right, no. Don't do that, Mr. Manning. I want to ask the question. Listen to the question. Listen to the question. Don't do that now. Listen to the question. The question is, let's just say somebody is functionally literate. You know, there are some people like that, right?
Yes, I meet many of them in my office.
All right.
I try to assist where I can.
All right. Yeah. So they are functionally literate. They may not be able to, genuinely, they may not be able to function in the capacity that some people might be able to function in. All right. Is it that the government cannot find like for Mr. Alexander? Is there persons around him who can assist him?
Yeah.
I
understand what you're trying to say. I wouldn't say that the man is functionally literate. I couldn't say that. I don't know that. But they have been trying to protect him in Parliament at all costs by letting him speak as little as possible. There have been several bills coming out of his ministry where the AG will lead the debate or someone else will lead the debate. It wouldn't be him. They've been trying to protect him from himself as much as possible. The challenge with the Standing Finance Committee is that you couldn't hide anymore. And he was exposed. And some of the crazy statements he has made also doesn't really inspire any kind of trust in the national community or confidence. And the government needs to understand that. Even if you had to make him a minister in the ministry, so that you can have somebody who could understand and handle the administrative part of the role.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what I mean. That's what I was
they
talking
bring a
about.
lot more confidence to this community, to this country and society. But when you have a person who, has challenges communicating,
Right.
People
Look, you see,
comfortable.
you know what I'm trying to say.
I learn it from you.
You know what I'm trying to say. So that is exactly what I was trying to be kind enough to say. That maybe what it is that he should have been a junior minister in the ministry and put somebody there who you think would have been a little more capable of public speaking, because he doesn't have enough skills where public speaking is concerned. And I think the recommendation should be given to the Prime Minister, because he's going to put himself, I am telling you that when you have the top 10 worst minister, best minister, he is going to fall in easy into the category of worst.
Yeah, but there are people there who are fully literate, like the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs sparked an international incident his first week in office.
Oh, yeah.
We have a Category 5 hurricane bearing down on children and parents, and he holds a press conference to call them liars in front of the whole national community. And he could read and speak perfectly fine. So it's not just that. There are too many clueless people running around in this government, doing and saying crazy things that are negatively affecting the people of this country. We have Minister in Housing talking about nuclear bomb from India and all kind of nonsense. That's what we get them. And then they worry why nobody have confidence in them, because of every time you open your mouth, right, you shred any credibility that you have.
The Minister of Housing made a statement in the Parliament. Now, Mr. Imbert would have asked him about the allocations. He said that, no, Mr. Karim Marcel asked him about the 20,000 houses that they said that they would build.
Yes.
He said that was a misprint.
Yeah, and you asking me about if public servants getting paid for Christmas, when people could have a misprint. They're not telling the truth.
So, but he made another statement that have me kind of concerned. And as a member of Parliament, I think you should be concerned about his statements. What is that statement? The Minister of Housing said that he is going to make HDC profitable.
Yes.
How?
If you remember, I asked the question, right?
Right. But my question...
I asked a question about arrears and collection of arrears. And they gave some kind of euphemistic, soft pedal statement that we will kindly and gently seek the arrears outstanding to the HDC. That means they're going to evict people. That's really what they're saying nicely. They're going to evict people. They're going to try to collect these arrears, and if you don't pay, they're going to kick you out of your house. That's what they say. They need the revenue so desperately that they're not going to give anybody a break. Either pay up or get out.
But the other aspect of it is, in order for him to make it viable, it has to be then that he is going to raise the rent on some of these rentals.
That is also possible. He hasn't said that explicitly, but as I said, they desperately need the revenues. They've already raised the rental rates in the private sector, so it is not something unbelievable that they would attempt to raise rental rates in the public sector also. So it wouldn't be a surprise.
This is getting really interesting, Mr. Manning.
I'm telling you.
This is getting very, 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 very interesting. And I think people need to wake up.
They need to pay attention.
Yeah.
And that's what the Standing Finance Committee is for. Well, and let me not say too much about our good friend, the Speaker, because I'm not allowed to. But they could, what I would say is that they could hide before from certain hard questions. But the Standing Finance Committee was a place where they couldn't hide, and they were exposed. The budget was exposed, their intentions were exposed. And you could see that, one, they're totally unprepared for governance. They have no idea what they're doing. And two, that they have no good intent. I asked this question explicitly. Will there be a program to absorb former CPEP URP forestry workers? Will there be a program to replace those closed programs? And the answer was a resounding no, which I could not believe. That shocked me. So what are these tens of thousands of people supposed to do exactly? Apply for jobs that they're not qualified for in this portal thing, this portal fast that they have going on? They try to fill jobs in the public service that were unable to be filled for decades. That cannot make sense.
So what you're saying to us, Mr. Manning, where are we now in governance in Trinidad and Tobago? Because they came in on, all right, so we know that they came in on lies. We know that they came in on, people have high expectations. When they came in, there were some people who believe when they win, everybody win. But where are we now? Where are we now, Mr. Manning? Because you have clearly shown us, you have clearly pointed out to us, Mr. Manning, this evening, that the rental, the rental of business build is not just for business buildings, but it's for private owned accommodation.
Yeah.
How does that affect people in Tobago?
I'm not certain about the. I think they do have a landlord tax. There was something in Tobago. I think CPEP and URP were not cancelled in Tobago.
Right.
They didn't end those programs. Right? So all that talk about criminality and ghosts, for some reason it only happened in Trinidad, not Tobago.
Right.
We believe nonsense, right? And just coincidentally, there's a THA election coming up soon. What a coincidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Tobago gets one of its highest allocations ever. And there's no end of CPEP and URP in Tobago, coincidentally. I just hope Tobagonians not gullible enough to not believe that after the election that they're going to end those programs too, right? I can only hope that Tobagonians have that kind of sense, and I know Tobagonians are intelligent people, and they should be able to see through the charade, to see through what happened in Trinidad, and know that it's going to happen in Tobago also, right? So I'm very concerned about the economy. Very concerned about the country. We are going to see some very difficult times in the next few years. We've already seen a spike in armed robberies. In the past 2 weeks, I've seen armed robberies reported in the media like I haven't seen before. Yeah, they're going to come and tell you that crime has gone down. Which crime? There's been a slew of armed robberies in the last month or two, ever since they shut down the program. I have dealt with many CPEP and URP workers in San Fernando East. In my office hours out in the field, many of them have come from very difficult backgrounds. Many of them may not have much education. They don't think that the training programs are suitable for them. Many of them are unemployable. They have disabilities. They have other challenges. But the one thing they could do is get out there and put some manual labor and help this country to be clean and healthy. And since they closed on the program, you see it yourself. You see bush everywhere. Garbage everywhere. The country isn't the same as it used to be. So I don't understand the point. And then they cut allocations to 3 local government bodies. So how are you supposed to keep the place clean? How is that supposed to work? How is if you say canceling CPEP, URP, whatever, and you're going to hire more people at local government level to do work, but they cut their budget too, so they can't do it if they wanted to. So how are you going to keep the place clean, one, and how are you going to keep people employed too? How is that going to happen? I cannot tell you.
Wow. So, you have burst people bubble with it.
Not me, sir. The government did. The government did, not me. And the PSA president, don't forget him.
So the 10% is don't wake up out of that dream. It's not going to happen.
Snap out of it. Snap out of it.
Right. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
You don't know. I sit down there in Parliament and half the time I am totally shocked and confused. as to what it is these people are saying and what it is they're doing.
Wow. All right.
Half their contributions is PNM propaganda. It's PNM this, PNM. The Minister of Finance spent an hour of his budget contribution talking about the PNM. Why? Because you have nothing else good to talk about. You have nothing else to tell the people of this country. Saddam Hussein want to bust hot backs. You want to bust hot backs in the parliament. That's what budget debate is for hot backs. Because he don't have nothing good to say. He have nothing to offer people. Trying to distract you with nonsense.
So what okay, so let's talk about Friday. The SOE extension.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Manning said, yes. What happened? Explain to us what happened in the parliament on Friday. The AG would have come and he would have asked for, or he would have started the debate on the extension of the SOE. Talk to us.
Yes. So they came to the parliament and they used their overwhelming numbers to pass a 3-month extension of the state of emergency.
Why?
Even though they could not give any definitive reason or evidence why they would have done so. Right? But they had superior numbers and they got their way. If you remember, that's they stood up and then they said what they had to say. The Stuart Young and others who kept asking to lay out the case to the people of this country why we need an extension of the SOE. They couldn't really give any sensible reason, right? And but they had superior numbers, so they voted and they got that. At the end of this 3 months, if they decide to extend it again, you need to have a special majority, which they have in the lower house, but not in the Senate. And it's very unlikely that the independent senators would vote for an extension of the SOE without good reason. So that is where we are right now. We have a 3-month extension of the SOE. We believe that it is being held in place as a way to suppress dissent against this government, because during a state of emergency, they can't protest, they can't assemble and do those things that keeps a democracy healthy. And we believe that they are keeping it in place just so they could suppress the dissent and discontent that people feel towards this government. I mean, the tide has turned overnight. There are many who regret the choice that they made in April of this year. And this government is just trying to suppress that dissent. I want you to believe that everything is okay when it's not.
What are your views on statements made by the opposition in Venezuela? One of the opposition MPs have said it, and I think the opposition in Venezuela has taken a stand and that is what baffles me, is that you would think that the opposition in Venezuela would not side with Maduro on his statements about the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, because the opposition obviously opposed to Maduro. But now you're hearing the opposition in Venezuela is standing with Maduro, with saying that, hey, they don't agree with certain statements and positions of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I don't think they're standing with Maduro, but they are standing for their sovereignty as a country.
Right.
What they're saying is that, yeah, they don't want Maduro, but they also don't want outside influence on their democracy.
Right.
I think that is what they're saying. So and I try to stay clear of making statements about Venezuela for exactly that reason. They're saying that, look, this is our country, and we are the opposition here, and we are going to determine, what is said about our leader, if there's any regime change or anything, the opposition there will determine how that is done. And we have had that position as Trinidad and Tobago for decades, where we stay out of other people's business. We've had a prime minister now who has placed us directly in the firing line in terms of what's going on between Venezuela and the United States. He has placed us right in the middle of it. And we are the one country in CARICOM that has a lot to lose if something goes on between those two countries, something, in terms of a battle or war. We shouldn't want that at all. That's not in our best interest at all.
Right. Well, that and I think that says a lot to me, that at least our government should take note. They should take note. Check because clearly I would have as a prime minister, if I realize that the opposition of a country that is against even the government, that the president that is there, but they are saying to me, hey, we do agree with how you are with
They say mind your business. That's what they say. Mind your business. like Fresh Prince. They back up. Mind your business. Mind your business.
Wow.
That's what they say.
And it's like if those things are water and duck back, because you have still not, there's still no retraction, or there's still this level of arrogance that continues.
Yeah, it's baffling. Every single what do you call it, diplomat that we have is confused by what this prime minister and his government is doing. Some of the reckless statements made by the Minister of Homeland Security, made by the Minister in the Ministry of Housing. I mean, it's just crazy, the indecipherable press conference held by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. This is playtime, it's amateur hour. And that's what it looks like. This is amateur night at the Apollo. And sadly, our country has to pay the consequence for that.
Wow. And some of the consequences are people embarrassing us and saying things about us that are just unwarranted.
I think we've gone past embarrassment at this point.
Wow. So, I don't know, I still can't believe what you're saying about that 10%.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why would you believe that in the first place? It's not happening. We went through a whole budget debate. There was not one. We asked the question specifically and directly. The answer was no. There's no 10% included in this budget. None. Only person drinking the Kool-Aid is the PSA president, because she's not very bright, very confused, and in working in her own interests and not the interests of her membership. That's the problem with these guys. They're all happy now to be in government, to be in the parliament, to wear nice suit. They don't care about their membership anymore. They don't care how they can call this a people's budget. That's nonsense. It increases the cost of living for everyone, from captain to cook. Whether you're rich or poor, the cost of living has gone up across the board. You see business people closing down already with this 100% markup on duty on alcoholic beverages. 100%.
Well, I'm seeing where
I should have said it.
I'm seeing where the Prime Minister of Gaston Brown is saying that we can be breaking the Shagaramas agreement.
And that is the point. Is this the beginning of a trade war between Trinidad, Tobago, and CARICOM? It is what it is essentially a tariff. It's a tariff on those imported goods from the rest of the region. And we have signed certain agreements, some of them to either minimize or eliminate barriers to trade throughout the region, which is the CSME. So we have possibly violated those things, but the government couldn't care less, or they're in a mad dash, tried to raise revenues wherever they possibly could. They came up with this ridiculous measure of 100%. We see businesses. We saw the owner of Trotters in San Fernando. I was there at the opening of that particular outlet, and it was a wonderful thing for South Trinidad. They had to close down almost immediately overnight. They said, I don't know if they understand how business operates. Many nightclubs, many restaurants, and other places, they don't make money at the door. They make money at the bar. That's where the profit is. So if you eliminate the profits there, they have no reason for them to be open. There's no good reason. They cannot make any money. But our Minister of Finance, who's been studying the economy for 30 plus years, he can't see that. And I remind you, and I should have said it in the debate also, I remember years ago when a Patrick Manning administration added, I think it was about 20 or 15 or 20% increase on alcohol and tobacco products in Trinidad and Tobago. The same UNC told the people of this country that Manning is forcing his religious beliefs on the people of this country. That is what they said for 20%, I believe, around that 20% increase in alcohol and tobacco. So whose beliefs are they forcing on the country now with a 100% increase? It is hypocrisy. Everything they do is hypocritical. No dragon deal, no dragon deal, okay, right? No smelter, we will reconsider it. No property tax, they bring back the property tax. That is how this government has been operating. And it should anger everyone in this country because we are all that we. But many people are being deceived.
Why you think persons are being deceived?
Because that is not what they were saying. When they saying on the platform that they were going to give the OWTU the Petrotrin refinery.
Yeah.
You don't remember them saying that?
Yeah.
So what happened to that? What happened to it? They said they're giving public servants 10%. You see them get any 10% yet? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Did they tell people they were going to close down and shut down CPEP and URP and all those programs? They didn't say that. I'm sure of it. Right? They fight property taxes for almost 2 decades, 20 years. Tax, no property tax. The first budget, what they did, reintroduce a property tax. It is a deception, it is a masquerade. There's nothing honest about this group or nothing honest about this budget or what the things they've been saying. Nothing at all.
So what you're saying to me is that the revenue stream that they are looking to get, could you see them pulling the revenues from those different areas? So the alcohol, the cigarette, the rental tax, the LPG gas.
So the answer is no. We, at the end of the day, those are small fiscal measures. We are, at the end of the day, a oil and gas economy. If you have been looking at the international prices, they have been in the decline. Also, our production levels have been stagnant or in decline also. There will be no significant boost to the revenues of this country. And the TTRA is supposed to close a gap to ensure that everyone pay their fair share in taxes and income taxes across the board in Trinidad and Tobago. Because there are many people, many of them wealthy business people and wealthy professionals who are not paying their fair share. The TTRA is supposed to close that gap. They shut that down. From the day they canceled the TTRA, I knew this government was dead on arrival. They had no chance of generating significant revenue going forward. The only purpose, as I said in my contribution, of this budget is to give them an excuse to tap and to go deep into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. It's the only source of additional revenue that they can find quickly.
So can they do that?
It's the only one.
So can they do that?
At the end of the year, when they show that the international energy prices are way below what it is that they proposed in the budget, which was I think $73 a barrel or something, whatever it was, it will definitely be. It's about $50 right now. It's under $60 right now. The proposed budget price was $73, which is a joke. Nobody believes that is going to happen in the next fiscal year. So they will give themselves an excuse to access the HSF. And then how much they take out of there, we'll have to see. But understand that it's our children's future that they mortgage in there. That's what they're doing.
Let's open up the phone line just because
it's worrying.
It's
very worrying to me.
I'm going to get really this is going to get very, very frightening for some of us. So I think I should open up the phone lines and allow Trinidad and Tobago to talk to you. So you all know the numbers to call. If you're calling outside of Trinidad and Tobago, the number is 1-868-464-7003. So while we wait on the callers to call in, Mr. Manning, you would have had a little tongue meeting or a little tongue meeting in Thursday last week. How was that?
Yes.
How?
Yeah.
Because most of the persons who live in that community are from the low end.
Yeah, it's a more vulnerable support base, right? And I really have to get the message out to the people of Taradale. The people of Taradale are being neglected by the Princestown Regional Corporation. Right? A lot of people in Tyrone don't even know that they have a UNC counselor attached to the PTRC because she never goes to Tyrone for any reason. Why? Because she doesn't have to. Because the people of Tyrone do not unite and vote in local government elections. And it is my sworn duty to get and mobilize people of Tyrone to do what is in their own best interest. They will not receive any assistance from the PTRC until they start making their presence felt in local government elections. People, they get no service, especially now we were making up for some of the shortfall with CPAP, right? CPAP would have done work in Taradale, to clear grass and try to do some of the work that needed to be done. With the closure of that program and no assistance from the PTRC, I'm sure many in Taradale already feel it. They see that they're not getting any assistance, bush is overgrown, drains are not being cleared, work is not being done. And we need to do something about it.
So what is the people saying though? How are they responding to what you, because I know that when you told them that, when you said that to them, some of them may have been surprised. Some of them may say to themselves, because they would have been coming down on you, thinking that you are the member of parliament and you were the one that they were looking at to do all the jobs and all the things that you were talking about.
It's funny that they blame the MP for everything bad, but then don't give him any credit for anything good, right? You know, when it was the PNM and Patrick Manning that built that community, that provided all of those homes for the people of Taradale. And, you know, sometimes I try to explain that the MP is not responsible for local government issues. The MP isn't responsible for cleaning drains, isn't responsible for cutting grass. That is a local government issue. So I can reach out to those bodies and try to assist, which I do, but I can't force the PTRC to do what the job they should be doing in Taradale. The people of Taradale need to show the PTRC that they will not be ignored. And I am here to assist them in doing exactly that.
Wow. Wow. Well, I boy. All right, so we're taking your calls on 4647003. I have with me the MP, the Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, Mr. Brian Manning, and he is here to take your questions. If you want him to explain certain things in the budget, he is here to explain. And if you want to understand what went on Friday in the Parliament and how you all felt, how you all are feeling about what's going on, touch base with him now. So you're taking your calls, 464-7003, 464-7003. So where are you having your next town
meeting? I haven't decided yet, but I'll start putting out notices probably by tomorrow, letting everyone know where.
Okay, well, you send it to me now. Let me highlight it.
And then you to the group, you getting all the info live and direct, you know. You know, use the voice of San Fernando and make sure you well taken care of, you know. Come on, man.
You know, let's take this caller before you get in trouble. Hello, good evening, caller. Hi, good evening.
I want to say Mr. Manning as well, Brian Manning.
You hearing it, caller, Mr. Manning?
Somewhat.
Yes, Mr. Brian Manning.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, all what you're saying there, you're really opening up people's minds to some of the issues in the government, right? The majority of the thing you're saying there is a fact. It's just maybe about that. And I want to thank you for coming on the program tonight and really opening up the people's minds to the real issues and some of these challenges that you as an opposition member of parliament have to deal with in the parliament with the government ministers. It's very, very challenging and they're really victimizing people.
Yeah, absolutely.
there was an organization for straight 10 years, they come with a vengeance to really victimize people.
Correct.
And that shouldn't be. And a lot of the corporations, they were victimizing for the Spin Corporation. They
Yeah.
getting the kind of funds that we need. And that, listen, these things could be not COVID. You have to let the people know that. Because if they don't have enough funds to clean the drains and to cut down the bush, so all this thing that
Correct.
the government is doing is anti.
Yeah, we have dengue, COVID. All of those illnesses will take effect. Yeah.
Go to the United Nations, go to the World Health Organization, and dealing with people you only have a right to and talk to concerning this government.
Yeah.
You understand? Things
Yeah.
like COVID come now because the standard government take and spread out the disease.
Yeah, we had a dengue outbreak in Taradale, and they refused to spray. They didn't even spray in the community.
All right, caller. Thank you very, very much. There's another caller on the line. Let me see if I can get this caller in. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good afternoon, good night, Pastor, and good night to your guest this evening, the MP of the Parliament.
The MP for San Fernando East.
Yeah, Mr. Manning.
All right, so Mr. Manning, this is one of our young callers, right?
No problem. Thanks for calling.
Good night, Mr.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Remember the plastics, right? The plastics.
Yes.
The plastics was taxed. And that is our main thing for entrepreneurs to do their business. We rely on
All
that
people who
plastic.
sell food, all food sellers gonna see an increase in prices because of that one tax.
So we trying to establish now who, and I know you're not trying to divulge that information, but who will really benefit with if there's a devaluation on the horizon. Because Mr. Manning, it is clear and present, it is happening, and we watching to watch the corporations have the major surplus that just recently got the major surplus. It could be a booming time for them as well too, because I think they are well buffered for that support. Anyhow, thank you, sir. No other callers want to come in. My thanks, Pastor.
Thank you for calling in. I mean, let me speak to that issue.
Speak to that issue. Speak to that issue with my young caller, man.
Let me break it down for the people of this country, right? What we have been having, and I know that they've been saying on the other side, that there's some cartel and they getting foreign exchange for themselves and they keeping foreign exchange away from everybody else. That is not what is happening. What is happening? The way the way foreign exchange rates are determined, just as you learn in economic class, and we're taking one, is demand and supply. Every demand and supply curve, right? And also on the interest rates in your country relative to other interest rates. So what we have, because of our energy sector, with a reduction in international prices and also a reduction in production locally, is that we are not generating enough foreign exchange. Our supply is far lower than our demand. Our demand for foreign exchange is high because we import so much of what we consume in Trinidad and Tobago. We love online shopping. I think the last number I saw for credit cards in this country was about $3 billion annually for credit card payments in Trinidad and Tobago. Much of that is due to online shopping, right? Our food import bill is about $1 billion annually. So we import a lot of what we consume, which is increases huge demand for foreign exchange. But while the demand is going higher and higher, our supply has not been increasing. We have not found any new oil finds or gas finds, and we have not been producing more. So our supply is impugned, which is why all of a sudden, after fighting the dragon deal for 10 years, this USC government decided that the dragon deal is a good idea. And why it is they're having problems now dealing with Venezuela. Okay? So in a situation like that, if there is a devaluation, which is a possibility, the persons who are holding US dollars, of course, would benefit because now they can convert their US dollars if they want to buy locally. Instead of now, say 7-1, and they devalue it to 10-1, that increases the purchasing power of the US dollars that they hold. So it would be only wealthy business people will come out publicly and say they want a devaluation. If you take a look at it, because they're the only ones that benefit from a devaluation. No one else would. And with what this government is doing without rhyme or reason, there's a distinct possibility that there will be a devaluation in the next few years. Sad to say.
But if they go to the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, would they still need to devalue the dollar?
It depends on how much, on what it is. What they've been doing is taking money from our foreign reserves and possibly from the HSF and putting it into the supply, putting it into the banking system to really as a stopgap measure, right? If you have demand is higher than supply, so to bring supply closer to demand, they find sources of foreign exchange, the HSF, what do you call it, the foreign reserves, and try to make up for that. But that is, of course, unsustainable. We don't have unlimited foreign reserves, and we don't have unlimited revenues in the HSF. And that is the problem. You have to find additional revenues to make up for that shortfall. And there's nothing in this budget that says that they have access or found those revenues. That is the concern, and that is the alert we've been raising from day one.
464-7003. 464-7003. I am lost for words. Genuinely lost for words, because
I was too.
Because Mr. Manning, we were warned,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We were warned. And I don't know, as a nation, we stick breaking our air. So
I don't know.
I think people, let me tell you something.
Members, you can't tell me a government, several members out on bail, serious about crime. You can imagine, you so disrespectful to the people of this country. You contest an election with members that are out on bail.
And people vote for them.
And people still vote for you.
Yeah.
I could ever do that in the PNL. I could present myself to San Fernando with a criminal charge hanging over my head. But you have people voting for the UNT and happy and glad about that. Incredible.
But let me ask you this. There are people who genuinely believe, Mr. Manning, that the government and this country have money. People it was just a facade. Mr. Dr. Rowley and Mr. Imbut, they were just pulling our strings, and really playing games with Trinidad and Tobago. But this country, there are persons who believe without a shadow of a doubt, Mr. Manning, that this country have money. We just generating the money, or we putting the money in wrong places. I heard Mr. I heard the Labour Minister saying that Mr. Batiste
So,
said
so
that
please stop quoting the Labour Minister, please. Please stop quoting the Labour Minister. The Labour Minister is lost and confused.
all right.
Okay?
Okay.
He's the same man say adding contributors to the NIS fund going to improve the fund. Totally forgetting that increasing the contributors also increases the beneficiaries on the other hand. He didn't realize that. He does not know what he's talking about.
Somebody wants to know how Tobago is getting so much money.
Because we have a THA election coming up. That's why. That's no surprise or secret.
All right. We have a call on the line. Hello, good evening.
And they have to benefit their silent partners in the TPP.
Well, they are not silent partners anymore. Tonight, I heard Ms. Bissassa say that the anchor holds.
All the time they deny it, right? No relationship between UNC and the TPP. None.
Wow.
That was a shotgun with it. And you want to tell me that this government not lying to people. Okay.
Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Miss MP Manning.
Good evening.
MP Manning, I want to ask you a direct question.
Sure.
With all of the taxes that have been allotted from the budget, all of the new taxation and all of the everything that that the Minister of Finance spoke about, is it enough? Is it enough by his calculation to keep us from going from devaluation and the IMF? Is all of those new taxations that are going to come into play? All of the new taxes, like the housing, all of the things that he spoke about, all of the calculations that he said that he did, is it enough to keep us from going into our reserves and our our heritage and stabilization, to keep us out of the devaluation or the IMF? Thank you very much.
Yeah, the short answer is no. The short answer is no. And if you listen, you also saw that the government is quite possibly going to borrow about $18 billion to supplement their income, right? If you have a shortfall in terms of, that's what a deficit budget is, where you have more expenses than revenues. So if you have more expenses, you have to finance that shortfall by borrowing money. And they intend to borrow about $18 to $19 billion to make up our shortfall. So that doesn't inspire any confidence that they expect these increased taxes to significantly increase revenues. You know, it does not do any of that. I mean, some of the projections are insane. They expect to collect $1 billion in extra revenues from the alcohol and tobacco tax. $1 billion? Come on, that is utterly ridiculous. The numbers in there don't make any. I mean, I really document, and I didn't know if to laugh or to cry. And that really inspired my contribution in the parliament, because I was just really that angered by a document that I just knew made no sense and was fake and designed to really fool the people of this country. It does not make any sense.
So, Mr. Manning, where are they going to get the money to pay the public servants their back pay next year in the review of the budget?
And that's the challenge. It might come from the HSF. So they're trying to benefit their bodies, right? The people who are aligned with them in the last election, but they're going to come at the cost of everyone else.
So they're going to go into the HSF. So they're going into the HSF to pay the 10%.
Quite possibly. And that's why it's not there now. But they hope to accumulate enough funds between now and the mid-year review where they could say, okay, we could pay this amount, but everybody going to suffer for it. These taxes is a $2,500 registration fee for the landlord tax. Registering for what? What do you have to pay a registration fee for? Where that come out from? They put a tax on assets on the banking system of this country. I mean, that's going to affect everyone. Those costs are going to be passed on. And then they say that there's going to be a sale of FCB assets to the general public. So they want to raise money by offering shares in FCB to the public. And at the same time, they're affecting or diminishing FCB's profits by adding a tax on assets. So they're shooting themselves in the foot at the same time. The document is confused. This government doesn't know if it is coming or going. It does not make any sense.
So what about the people who are in those ministries, those technocrats and the people who are advise the government? They're not telling them that those things are making sense?
Of course they are, but the government going to do what they're going to. I'm sure many people in the Ministry of Finance, hardworking, good people, are embarrassed by that budget document. It is the thinnest budget document I've seen since I've been an MP. We will stand up there and speak for 5 hours, outlaying every single number, every single initiative, the cost of it, and all of that. There were barely any numbers in this budget document even. They just said they're going to do this, we do that. And I'm looking for the cost or what revenues they expect to generate. And there's nothing there.
All right, let's take this caller. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Google, good night.
Good evening, sir.
And Mr. Brian Manning, good night.
Evening, sir.
Are we going to get mostly of the most? I just
half of the most.
Asking for a friend. Or half of the most.
Half of the most budget.
Half of the most. You know, I find it strange that these people really think people are fools.
No, they don't think so. They okay, let me just say that.
We keep allowing them to think that.
And I don't understand how come you say you're starting at 10%. Now the 10% is for 2014 to 16 and 16 to 19 for 2 periods. That's also 1 period. Felicia tongue change now.
Yeah, your story changed.
And then at the end of the day, 5 plus 4 is 9. So all again 1% then. So we fight. You fight to get 1%. So the money you could have get last year, you're going to get that this year with 1% increase. What are money going to do for you now? Because inflation going up, things going up. I don't understand.
As I said in my contribution, they give them with one hand and take them back with the next. The money they give you, they take them back with all the taxes. It don't make any sense.
No, but they're taking back more.
Taking back more?
They say they give you $1 in gas. They ain't doing nothing.
They give you 10 cents in one hand and take back $1 with the other.
Yes,
that's what they're doing.
And that is 100-fold. For all those who don't read the Bible, that's 100-fold. From 10 cents to $1, that's 100-fold more. You trying to, and Trinidadians not seeing the, I don't know, what are we blinded or shame? Probably shame.
I think a lot of people are upset by the decision they made in the last election already. The reception I get now on the street is far different from the one I was getting a year ago. Far different.
I wouldn't even vote for them if my eye closed if I'm blind. I will never. I just vote on principle. And you see principle, I will stay with that. And I don't understand. You see Trinidadians, something had to be wrong some way. It's like we seeing you're not going to get that money. It's not allotted in the budget. How could you talk about something when it's not there? It is not there, not physically there. You have no plans of paying anybody.
If you say that they're going to be starting off at 10%, would you have included at least 10% in the budget?
They didn't even
not even 10% there.
So there was no plan to pay it because there is no money. People getting paid late. Public servants getting paid late. Police get paid late. And it's
they
all
can't even get
different
a full salary now, but they're
excuses.
expecting to get a 10% increase before Christmas. That is a joke.
How are you getting that before Christmas?
Absolute joke.
these people had to be working what all the PSs had to be working what all now and signing off things or what? What is that? They feel people dotish, people not dotish, you know.
Correct.
And then the SOE after SOE, just for people not to protest. But it had no fireworks for independence, but it had fireworks for the Diwali under SOE, and there was gathering. That is gathering. That's called gathering.
Yeah.
But one,
the threatening cricket while under threat at the same time.
Long rope for Magagos. Long rope. Get them rope. I think this had to happen for we to learn a lesson.
How much time you gonna learn? But lesson the third time. How much time you got to take lesson to learn?
But Pastor, I don't know. I don't know. Probably we sick or some kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Let me take our next call now. You see, you would have to take a lesson to learn and whatever. Take our next call. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, good night.
Good evening, sir.
Good night, Mr. Manning.
Hi, good evening.
You need to lower down the TV or the whatever you're listening to me on, you need to lower it down, huh?
Yeah. My deep concern really is are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
All right.
Loud and clear.
My deep concern is and question is what are we going to do based on if America strikes Venezuela, our city, what is our situation? Are we waiting? Or okay, what can we do at present to avoid that? Because what I'm seeing, in my humble opinion, is that the government, like, they want this war to happen. So kind of use that to overshadow all these vague promises that they make, so they can use that as a reason that they are not able to work or to give of their promises that they promise. So what can we do at present? Or are we waiting for that to happen, which I feel it could be very dangerous for Trinidad and today.
I agree. I mean, it's very concerning. And the opposition, if you listen to our press conference today, we're doing our best to try to guide this government away from that course of action. We're dealing with some of the international agencies. Our CARICOM brothers and sisters have said that they want the Caribbean to remain a zone of peace. They don't want any war in this part of the world. And we're trying to talk some sense into the state. But they have overwhelming numbers in the parliament. They are in government, and they're gonna have their way.
All right.
We have to be more cautious in how we elect these people.
Hello, good evening.
I understand people were upset, but I don't mean you elect people like this who you have to know at some level. We're just offering you mama guy from day one.
Wow.
Literal criminals in the organization. And then what? You're telling them what? Stamp out corruption? Are you serious? I saw Alexander going to cabinet meetings with bracelets in his back pocket, just in case he had to arrest somebody.
Hello, good evening, caller.
Hello, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Mr. Manning, is there any way, based on the numbers you're seeing, that those let's say 20,000 odd low-level citizens that lost their jobs, are you seeing any way where they would be rehired anytime soon?
I asked the question directly to the government, and the answer was no. They have no program to replace CPEP, URP, or forestry. None. That was their response. So I don't expect any government program to assist. And maybe possibly a private sector program could happen. But right now, the government has said they have no program and no intention of replacing CPEP, URP, and forestry.
the private sector isn't doing so well because of their policies, all the different taxes and that they have put on the private sector. So I can't see them expanding to hire more low-level people. So anyway, you have a good night, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. All the best to you.
Same. Bye.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Sue. I think they will have the way until the ICC court sentencing for 27 years.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Say that again.
He said that he thinks that these people will have the way until the ICC court or something like that will censor them or whatever.
We'll see. I don't know. We will see. But I know this course of action that they're on here is not one that anybody in Trinidad and Tobago should be happy about. It really should. But what business we have, getting involved in anybody's war? We don't have battleships here, right?
But I think I am saying to you, Brian, on a serious note, people are still hopeful. They are the hopeful bunch. Why I say that? Because when you listen to some people talk, they behave as though, let me wait and see. Because there are some people who still doubtful. They can't believe that this madness really taking place.
Because they're feeling badly about the decision they made in April. They don't want to feel that pain. They know they made a mistake. The PNM was not perfect. I am the first one to admit that. But we're certainly not this. We're not this government is vindictive. Vindictive. They just hate TPURP because it's a PNM program. How they go shut it down in Trinidad and keep it in Tobago? If they say it's crime and criminality and it have ghosts, so Tobago wouldn't have the same. It's just vindictiveness. And then we'll clean up the program and bring one that the country needs. Why would you slash the Port of Spain Corporation budget by what, $10 million? Port of Spain is the capital of Trinidad and Tobago. They could barely keep themselves clean now. It's just pure vindictiveness.
How do you feel about the government saying that the opposition is involved with drug dealers?
More distraction. The more they are called to account, the more inflammatory and ridiculous their statements will become. We were not surprised by that at all.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening again. Mr. Manning, MP Manning.
Yes, sir.
Under the present scenario, can this government access the manatee portion of the gas? And secondly, what is happening with Petrotrin refinery? Have you heard anything at all whatsoever as to exactly what is happening? So is the manatee field, sir, also under the all as President Maduro said? Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, I've heard that the manatee field has not been affected thus far. I mean, that is a lifeline for this country. We are hoping to get some serious revenues from that field. But I understand so far it has not been affected. But, Venezuela is going to do what is in their best interest. Also with the refinery, apparently they opened a board and organization to decide what to do with the refinery. All the time they were saying they were going to give the OWTU the refinery. That's what they were saying up and down, ranting and raving. All of a sudden they get into office. And if you remember, the PNM had gone through a lengthy due diligence process that took about 2 years, found a buyer of the assets, Orlando from Nigeria, and we were going to reopen the refinery in short order. As soon as they come into office, they scrapped that immediately. Right? Another revenue source, that's gone. They couldn't care less. And now they have some organization there going around and around in circles. I have no idea what it is that they're going to eventually decide. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Right? But it's just not, there's just nothing to feel confident about. with this government.
466 7003 464-7003. Call and ask Mr. Manning what questions you have concerning the budget and other issues. You know, I mean, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. And I'm not hearing the public servants, because last night a lot of public servants would have called in and they you know.
Oh, really? Any of them talk about the increase in retirement age?
Hello, good evening.
When they call and ask them about that, please, I
Good
appreciate it.
afternoon, Mr. Manning. Google just asked a question about the refinery.
No, I didn't ask it. A
Kelvin-
caller asked.
Yeah. Kelvin Ramnarine was one of the men who said that oil refinery was closing down right around the world before we close it down.
Yes.
And now they take
Yes.
himself to go back to make a decision to see if the refinery could come back. Them don't know what they're doing. If you said closing right around the world, refinery closing down, what you going back to try to start it if you say that? You should have told you, well, here we go on. Remember before we said it's supposed to close down, and it close down, let it stay down. But them only want to mama guy people and people who not following them and hearing what other people saying, following them, but them on nonsense. Thank you.
Agreed. If an international body that has access to oil, okay, that's the biggest part, access to oil and willing to spend the millions of dollars it will take to bring that refinery back up to code and to really modernize its operations. If someone is willing to do that, then fine. We are willing to allow that. But it can't be taxpayers' money to do something like that. It would be hundreds of millions of dollars. And we also have had challenges with enough oil to keep the refinery going. That is one of the biggest shortcomings that we've had. And they just, as the caller said, they're just mama guying people.
All right. We're taking your calls. 464-7003. 464-7003. You all can ask Mr. Manning your questions. It's just that people, I don't know why. I'm watching, I'm listening, and if Mr. Manning, if what you're saying is true, and not
When you say if, you're sounding like you're not sure.
Mr. Manning, let me tell you something
I don't come here to spread propaganda, sir. I speak the truth. I told people from day one, I didn't come into politics to lie to anybody for any reason. I'm telling you the cold, hard economic facts of what is going on in this economy. That is my job.
And you are saying to us, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are not going to get any back pay by Christmas.
So none. That's what they will be getting. Right? None. Not possible. You have to call the whole public service back out from leave just to complete the calculations required. Come on.
Mr. Manning.
I was involved in this process 2 years ago. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. We had whole floors in the Ministry of Education with people that we had to hire to bring in to do the calculations by hand so that they could get paid.
Hello, good evening.
And many of them didn't get it before Christmas.
I want my back pay by Christmas. So all they have to do is get the 90,000 names and put 10% by the salary. You don't have to calculate nothing. Just pay people. Just get the 90,000 public servants and just add the money. They ain't have to calculate nothing. I could do that work for them too, so. That's simple. That's real simple. That
simple.
All that could just go on paper, you know, right? 90,000 people add 10%, but you don't have no money to pay them, eh? All right.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Let's go. All right, let me start calling. All right, we have another caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening to Mr. Manning.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have a question to ask you, Mr. Manning, right? It seems like I said again, everybody have promises of comfort to us, right? And it seems to me like the people of Tobago is getting changed again. What advice would you tell the Tobagoans when they don't come up with that disaster? Because we see the respect that come up with that disaster there was the Tobagoans when it was our whitewashing 2012 and all of a sudden now they go the best things in sliced bread now. Is Tobagoan people that gullible?
I think this government is hoping that that's the case.
Right? Because it appears to me that you can rely on those two Tobago states again, and we have to rely on some other states in Trinidad. Because how much time Tobagonians will be to? And it seems to me that they seem to be very contented with peace. And they seem to run out with Anam Roy and Shampa Pujo again. So what do they have to do come again when the next stage election? Or general election? Also another thing too. I noticed that when you have the press conferences and them, it seems or you have some issues with, I don't know, like some sort of interference with, when you're broadcasting. So I don't know if that's sabotage, but when you start some backup in place when you have to be so funny. Because let me tell you something, you have the other side who like to sabotage conferences, yeah? It's something that I hope it will be enough. Okay?
All right, caller. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, yeah. Google I again. You see this government, this Prime Minister, she have a kind of anti-African agenda, Like everything to do with African people, like she doesn't want to get involved. Because look the Nigerian company Orlando. Them bringing money to start the refineries, to do everything. Yeah. She won't talk to them in a serious way. And let the people, because they prepare to spend their own money. But like anything to do with African people, like she's not interested. That my gut feeling about that whole thing. Let me have Mr. Mine understand that. You hear that?
Yeah, we hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, they didn't make any sense. The refinery was ready to go. You had a buyer ready to go. Why would you cancel it? And then inflict these taxes on the people of this country instead, when you could have generated revenues from there. Doesn't make sense.
All right. Hello, good evening.
Pleasant good night, Pastor again. Pastor, one question I forgot to ask to Mr. Manning is about education, right? Mr. Manning, I remember when the PNM was in power in government last, right? There were a lot of job creations, right? With the skilled energy workforce, with the renewable green energy innovations, right?
Yep.
Now students...
We had a whole ministry dedicated to the youth, of the success of the youth of Trinidad and Tobago. A whole ministry.
Okay, so correct. There was recently a job fair by the UNC. My question is this. Looking at the outlook now, students who are coming out with degrees in, let's say, in civil, let's say in renewable energy, right? What outlook does it have for them with the present government in allocating jobs for these young people? What avenues do they have on the horizon? And I am specifically talking to young people, young people qualified, who are ready to enter the workforce, qualified exactly, with masters, right? Some of them venturing into their masters, wrapping up their masters. What work? Because I am not seeing anything really on the horizon, but maybe you could give an identity, maybe as a member of parliament. What work are these young people, professionals, with this budget that's passed, are going to obtain into the new workforce that this government is trying to present, or whatever their presentation is? Thank you very much.
What they've been saying is that they're going to try to fill all of these empty spaces in the public service. If that was so simple, it would have been done already. The public service commissioners have been given great difficulty in placing people in some of these jobs. They said that they're going to try to fill all of them. So I have to see that to believe it. The one way to create more jobs in an economy is to expand that economy. That is not taking place right now. And it becomes difficult to absorb new people, especially when you have put tens of thousands of people on the breadline already. You've eliminated many of the contract employees. You've put CPEP, URP, all those people on the breadline. But they weren't really people in the skilled, the skilled arena to begin with. But you have increased unemployment, and now you have all of these people trying to access these few jobs in the public service, which we have had decades of difficulty in filling. And that is why people want contract in the first place. That is why we have these state agencies like the Sport Company and UDCOT, because of the inefficiencies of the previous public service entities, whether it was NIPDEC or the Ministry of Sport. A lot of those responsibilities were moved to these state enterprises because it led to more efficiency. This government has taken a retrograde step to try to fill places in the public service, which they know full well are going to be next to impossible to fill. So as a young person, I'm not sure what to tell them. I'm not sure what to say.
Wow. We have a call on the line?
Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, Pastor Google. Good evening, MP Manning.
Good evening.
Good having you on. I have a quick question for you. Seeing that CPEP and URP still exist in Tobago, is it possible that the people who were released in Trinidad can apply for CPEP and URP jobs in Tobago?
Yeah, I think you're going to have a very difficult time doing that. Tobago is for Tobago. If you've been over there, if you know, you know.
But Tobago doesn't have like contractors like Trinidad. Tobago don't have contractors. Tobago House of Assembly is the one that take care of the Tobago CPEP workers.
No, yeah, but Pastor Google, you think if it's any point I'm making, we are one.
No, they can't. They wouldn't be able to. They can't absorb all of the workers. How much workers have lost their jobs in CPEP brand?
Pastor Google.
About 30,000, 40,000 people.
Listen, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I am saying if you have disbanded CPEP and URP in Trinidad, we are one country, Trinidad and Tobago. If there are CPEP and URP jobs in Tobago, then Trinidadians have a right to apply for
But there are no vacancies. But there's no vacancies.
Well, the whole idea behind CPEP and URP, if I understand it correctly, is that you can't be employed for eternity, right? There is some level of rotation.
No, not in CPEP. No, sir. There's no rotation in CPEP.
But in URP, you do have rotation.
And that rotation has to go with, in URP, there is rotation, but you have to take into consideration that the Tobago House of Assembly would want to employ persons from Tobago first. And if you're working, and if you understand the pay, how much a person from URP gets, somebody leaving Trinidad to go to work for URP in Tobago, that means you have to find an apartment to rent or a room to rent. The money that you're going to be getting from URP will not be enough to pay a rent.
Pastor Google, you know what is most interesting I find in Trinidad and MP Manning as well. I just want you to comment on this. You see, if this was it the other way around, right? We would have had some lawyers from the Freedom Chambers finding a way to raise a constitutional motion. And that is my problem.
But we have that happening, sir. MP Young, no, but sir, let me correct you. MP Young, former Prime Minister Stuart Young, he has gotten the all clear by the courts to make it a constitutional issue.
That is a different issue, Pastor Google. We are talking about the issue that the current CPEP and URP workers in Trinidad, after being let go, I am fully aware with what Stuart Young is doing. I know, I understand that. I am saying if it was the other way around and CPEP only existed in Trinidad, right? In Trinidad, for example, or in Tobago, for example, or however you want to put it, and only Tobagonians or only Trinidadians could make avail themselves of those positions, I am saying you would have been hearing from freedom chambers. That's the point I'm making to you. And while on that, I want to make one final point because there's a lot of things I am very unhappy about. Okay? And I'm directing this question to MP Manning. MP Manning, we have a situation whereby the Prime Minister of our country has accused, right, the PNM party of being a narco, right, party. Don't we have a responsibility to file a lawsuit against the Prime Minister? She said this publicly. And then that also, it was printed in Trinidad Express. Don't we have a responsibility? Do you think it is sufficient for us to go like we did today or yesterday, whenever the meeting was, to say, apologize and retract his statement? That's not going to happen. We need to file a lawsuit against the Prime Minister. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I hear you.
one more thing. Give me one more thing.
Uh-huh.
One final thing I want to ask you. When the past Speaker of the House was there, right? Is it that she, from time to time, would disallow questions raised by the then opposition? I want to know if that is if that's the normal practice, right? Because I find to myself that in itself is if you are being denied asking questions in Parliament, right, without giving a reason for it, I think that in itself can also be fought on a constitutional motion. I think so. That's all. I listen off here to hear your comments.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. As I said, I'm another too, but the government has a right to govern. They were elected to do so, and they were duly elected, and they have overwhelming numbers in the sorry, in the lower house, the House of Representatives. So they're allowed to govern. I mean, even if a lawsuit was filed, it doesn't mean that the government would be prevented from acting. You know, it doesn't work that way. So there's something that yes, you can file lawsuits against and you know have it go all the way to the Privy Council and so on. But you have to pick your spots when using those things. And I agree.
Well,
the UNC used that to great effect when they were in opposition. I mean, they had us going around in circles with the property tax and the TTRA. I mean, it took a decade of going in and out of court. The Minister of Finance used to be every Monday morning was in court for some other matter, for one thing or the other.
Brian, I want to ask you this, Mr. Manning.
Go ahead.
Right, Mr. Manning, I want to ask you this. Any UNC is owing PNM money right now?
Exactly.
We just now call her, asking Brian a question. Mr. Manning, and the UNC is owing us money right now?
I believe so, yes.
And Dr. Rowley have been calling on the courts and calling on the UNC to pay the PNM their money?
So I understand.
And they haven't done it. And how much? That was 10 years ago. Because it was at the first election when they lost. Right? They lost at the courts 10 years ago. And up to now, they can't pay. Up to now, the UNC haven't paid a black cent. Yeah. The opposition leader today made a statement. She asked for the UNC to apologize for statements made about calling the PNM party anarcho, whatever, drug dealing, whatever. Right?
Yes.
And I will leave it there because I know that she have plans, She may not, she come out first and say if you apologize, apologize. But wait, let's see where she go with it. Because I know I know the political leader, she's not just going to come out just like that and say what she said. But I'm not going to
Boost a bubble.
let her take the process. Come out first. Hey, you call us X, Y, and Z, apologize. She waiting to see if they will apologize.
No, she's just trying to distract everybody with her crazy statements.
That's exactly what she said. So let's wait now for the political leader to do what she has to do. Hello, good evening.
Mr. Manning,
Hello?
I heard this evening on a radio station that the ads for these jobs that the UNC is advertising in Trinidad and Tobago is also being advertised in Mumbai. I don't know how true that is, but I heard that this evening on a radio station. But my question I really want to ask you, sir, I want to comment on that, but my question I want to ask you, sir, there are over 3,000 people incarcerated at this time. Yes? And only about 2,000, according to the UNC Commissioner of Police, have been arrested and charged. Is this a scheme to get UNC attorneys? Because eventually the SOEs are going to finish. And when the SOEs are finished and these people have to be released because of habeas corpus and so on, they are going to get money just like what happened between 2010 and 2015. And we will have to pay. What is going on with that? Because apparently this is a scheme that's going to be continued into perpetuity.
Well, I heard Mr. Subhash Pandey. Mr. Subhash Pandey has already gone into the prisons and dealing with the matter with some of the prisoners who are on a hunger strike.
Yes. So what is going to happen when eventually some of these people have to be let go and they are going to take the government, whatever government it is, to court? And we the people, sir, going to have to pay out of our back pocket, not the UNC, not whoever is in government, but we the people will have to pay. Is this a scheme that is going to continue over and over again, basis the fact that people are saying that they have to have a state of emergency in order to get certain people off the streets? Is this a scheme that is now something new that's going to continue into perpetuity? I'm asking the question.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, because they couldn't explain exactly why they wanted to extend the SOE. But I can tell you it has been extended for another 3 months. After that, if they want to extend it further, they're going to need a special majority. And they have that in the lower house, but in the Senate, in the upper house, they're going to have difficulty passing.
But my question, could they have come on Friday and say 6 months?
No, 3. I think initially they said 6, but it would have been against the law. Eventually it was 3.
Okay. I see one of the public servants calling in here who come in to let you know that he go in and get his 10%. I am glad that this public servant is calling you because he is going to let you know. He is going to let you know without a shadow of a doubt that he's going to get his 10%. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good afternoon, Pastor. Pastor, I had to fly home because I work late, so I had to fly home to catch the show. Pastor, good afternoon, Mr. Martin, and thank you for letting Pastor Google know the reality. Because I said to him yesterday that given the fact that today is the 4th, and you have to, and that must be paid at least by the 15th. I don't know where that lady who won PSA, I don't know where she got from. And Tanku can tell me that she more or less instructed the CP about the start negotiation, but he can't tell her when, and he can't tell her how long it's going to take. even though he happened to be the boss of the CPO. So I told Pascal yesterday that we just have a snowball chance in hell of getting that money before the 25th of December.
Christmas. No way. Not possible. Not possible. Only the PSA president say that because she drinking the Kool-Aid apparently. I think everybody's up to it.
So, caller,
Mm-hmm.
you and Mr. Manning are making some people cry tonight.
For what, the reality?
They are public servants.
I know. I look at them. They totally believe in this lady.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can't tell me they totally believe. You see what I'm talking to you guys here? I can't talk to them. Most of my colleagues, I talk to them because they get passionate, they go up in gears, and they tell me I have parents too, whatever.
Thank you.
Before they say what I say, and they totally believe every word this girl says.
Tell Mr. Manning that. Tell him that. Don't tell him what you tell me. Tell him that you have colleagues, you have friends, you are co-workers who believe in what Miss Felicia says.
Believe in everything this girl says. Totally.
That is absolute madness to me. Crazy.
So I know. But what happened to half of them is, this is not my first rodeo. This is not my first back pay. So I know what back pay entails. And I can tell you, once I listen to Tanku, I know when you don't want to, because how you can tell me, you read about it, and they come in Standing Finance Committee a week after and say there's no money in this fiscal package. And I know the fiscal package is from September this year to October next year. So you're telling me this is not my first rodeo.
Makes no sense. I was there for the last time they did it, but 2 years ago, it took months. We went into April, and all the public servants still weren't paid.
I know. You could. So now
you see the both of you? You see the both of you? I want you all to listen one more time. I don't think you all listening, you know.
We listen.
No, listen one more time. Listen again. Please, and thanks, Mr. Manning. Listen to this one more time. There may be something in this that you all didn't hear.
Well, play that in.
All right. Listen to Mr. Manning. Please.
Take care, all the best.
No, but you're going.
No, I was saying get back to the caller. Sorry.
No, the caller staying on. Like the public servant. Let him stay on. And I want him to. I'm saying again. I am saying this again. There may be something in this news article that the both of you may have missed.
All right, play it again. I'll wait and play it.
All right.
Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku has given the green light for the Chief Personnel Officer to proceed with the proposed 10% wage negotiations for public servants. However, Tanku acknowledged that the CPO still has a few prerequisites to finalize before face-to-face negotiations with the Public Services Association can begin. Therefore, the minister could not provide. Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku has given the green light for the Chief Personnel Officer to proceed with the proposed 10% wage negotiations for public servants. Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku has given the green light for the Chief Personnel Officer to proceed with the proposed 10% wage negotiations for public servants. However, Tanku acknowledged that the CPO still has a few prerequisites to finalize before face-to-face negotiations with the Public Services Association can begin. Therefore, the minister could not provide an exact date for negotiations to commence. However, PSA President Felicia Thomas is anticipating that the meeting with CPO Commander Dr. Daryl Dindial could happen within the next few days.
So they were in the process of doing the calculations. I expect I anticipate that probably by the end of this week, early next week, we should be getting a response from the CPO, but nevertheless, I will be following up with further correspondence.
Thomas explained that the 10% increase will be split over 2 negotiating periods, meaning a 5% increase for the 2014 to 2016 period and another 5% for the 2017 to 2019 period. The PSA president said she is still confident her members will get their back pay by Christmas.
Calculation should have been done for 4%. It is just a matter of adjusting the calculation already done to cater for 10%. So notwithstanding the minister has announced to put an offer of 10%, we would still have to discuss distribution, whether it be 311.
Meanwhile, Minister Tanku said he would be unable to provide an estimated cost for these negotiations as the process has to be completed first.
All right, yeah. All right, yeah.
Hello?
All right, yeah.
Right. That's a critical point.
You heard the words. You heard the words the Minister of Finance used.
No, the
Right?
Minister of
He
Finance
said-
said. That's all. All right.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Yeah, he said a few prerequisites to complete before face-to-face negotiations with the PSA can begin. He has prerequisites to complete before the discussions can even begin, can even start. Right? We already in November. We're not getting any payment before Christmas. That is nonsense. It is nonsense. And I don't know how the PSA president could believe that that was even possible to begin with.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have the same sentence because I am, I listen to this man, and I take 2 critical points. He don't know when I go start, and he can't tell her, he can't tell her where the course.
Correct.
He's the
Yes,
minister.
he hasn't even made the calculation.
You're telling me the CPO reports to him. He's the CPO boss, but he don't know when the CPO will start. And this young girl now who is clearly delusional, clearly telling me that I have a person is going to get my back pay by the 15th of December. Because I can't pay on the 25th. The 25th is Christmas. So it must be paid on or before the 15th. This is my first rodeo. This is my first
Same here. Same here. And we are saying the same thing. Right? It makes no sense.
So half of them, I don't know what juice them drink or what they're smoking. Because this girl clearly delusional. Clearly.
All right.
That's the best I could say about she.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe, but you know what? I don't know what I'm drinking. What I'm drinking. I don't know what I'm drinking. I clearly don't know.
All right, call
I
up.
don't know, probably the man, muscle man, they're drinking the same thing.
Thank you, caller.
She's drinking the UNC Kool-Aid. That's what she's drinking.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the program. I think the PSA president should damn well know the procedure and the protocol in terms of how payments goes. So it's just that she fool people them or the public servant don't know the procedure. So she damn well know the standing order and everything in terms of how 10% would go. And she know that they would not get no 10% of the batch. That would create massive inflation in the economy. Most time those things go down into probably 3% this year than the other year and so. So definitely public servant would not get a full 10% one whack every year. So she damn well know the procedure. It's just that the average public servant probably didn't read up or dig up and know what this procedure, how those things works.
All right. Thank you very much. My Guyanese friend. There's a caller from Guyana, you know. You hear me?
I heard him.
You're getting callers from Guyana, you know. That's how big you are.
They're arresting people over there. I'm scared to go to Guyana.
Take this
They're
call.
arresting politicians.
Take this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Good
How are you
evening.
guys this afternoon? Good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Manning, Pastor Google, good evening.
Good evening.
Now, I ask the question.
We ask.
If your boss tell you, as the Minister of Finance, to tell the CPO to start at 10% when I'm making up the budget, because if my boss tell me to tell the CPO start at 10% and I didn't make up the budget yet, right, and she tell me that before the budget, I would assume that I would put some level of allocation in my budget because my boss already tell me to talk to the CPO. So I supposed to don't talk to the CPO and know that it's supposed to start at 10. But now they're telling me they get in 10, but they might get 2, 3, or they go start at 5 and then they go get 2, 3. So overall, the end result is that they only getting 10.
Well, we'll see. Even 10 might be a stretch at this point. They said negotiations will start at 10. That is what I heard.
But that's why I'm saying they tell me it's supposed to start at 10. So now all of a sudden, it break down to 5 for the first term and then 5 for the next term that woke up to the 10. You understand the point I'm making, Pastor Google? The first term should be at 10, and then after from 2014 to 2016, we'd have start at 10, and then we'd have move from 2000 to 19, and then we'd have see where we go from there. But apparently that is not what happening. I looked at the Prime Minister's state of emergency. I look at the call that they want to take all migrants or Venezuelan migrants who have what they call it documented migrants have to go back, Pastor Google. So I'm saying this regime changes. So the Prime Minister is trying to lock up Venezuelan because she tells herself if the regime change happen to happen and they lose Venezuelan here, she might be under attack. So the first thing before that change take place, Pastor Google, she had to pull all of them into one. And then when I corral them, I don't corral the population already because I have a state of emergency. So the only threat I have again is the amount of Venezuelan. I don't know if they go rile up. So I have to get them, and when it's done with them, then we will see what happens to Trump. We in for a very long ride. Mr. Manning, thank you very much. Enjoy your night, gentlemen.
Have a good evening. Thanks for your call.
We having a short ride. I don't know what long ride all they talking about. Who calling me there? And you know you're calling. We not in for no long ride. You in for a long ride? You believe we in for a long ride?
Sir, I watching and waiting. It's hard for me to believe that this could continue for 5 years. Hard to believe.
I think if the public servants don't get their back pay by Christmas, the place go get ready. They go get ready to rumble.
I can't believe that they thought they was getting by Christmas.
They are good. They believe that. No, Mr. Manning, honestly, you hear what the fella tell you? The public servant called in and he said to you that he have friends who genuinely believe that.
That is crazy.
Hey, I have a father who work in HGC who tell me, he said to me, he said, brethren, give the people a chance. Why you being so? Let's wait and see. That's what the man tell me. And I said to him, I said, hey, brethren, you really believe we're going to get that boy? He said, boy, give me a break now. Give me a chance. Oh, gosh. 10 years, Ole was in office. Give me a chance.
That's not what they were saying. They said they had the answer to everything. Right? They make a foreign exchange appeal out of nowhere.
Let's take this caller.
The refinery will reopen overnight. That's what they were saying.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Constructive Talk.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, and good morning.
Are you a public servant?
Good evening.
I am not.
Oh, I thought.
I'm not a public servant.
Pardon?
I'm not a public servant, so I get paid early before.
Okay, I thought you were a public servant and you were calling to explain to us your hopefulness of getting your money for Christmas.
That you're expecting your back pay by Christmas.
I don't know that happening at all. That is out of the question.
You really believe? So, all right, go ahead, caller. Let me do that.
What I realize, what I find, we ain't talking about the situation in Nutrion and Point Talks, which is a big strike on our economy and our investor confidence.
Okay.
What's that, sorry?
He wanted
Say that again?
Say that again, caller.
The fact that Neutron is leaving Trinidad is a big hit to our economy and our investor confidence, and it is much bigger than public servant 10%, much bigger than CPEP problem. European problem is a big deal. And I find me not talking enough about it.
Yeah,
And
they try
what
to
is
muscle Nutrien. Nutrien is trying to let them know, like, yeah, we're not going for that. And we have to remember, it's not just oil and gas. We are one of the world's largest exporters of petrochemicals. You know, and so we have to consider that also. That's also where our foreign exchange is coming from. When you interrupt that supply, it harms the country even more in terms of foreign exchange. So, as I said, they keep shooting themselves in the foot and looking for somebody else to blame over and over and over. They keep doing that.
They're trying to blame PNM for that problem, but that is a UNC problem. They mismanage it. They try to strong on Neutron. Neutron is bigger than Trinidad. Is bigger than Trinidad, and we are the only people to lose there.
So, caller, before you come off, because you come on and you're saying that you find that not enough emphasis or not enough discussion is around that company and you think that, so you're saying to me that you think that there should be, I should try to get MP Stuart Young to come on and develop on the discussion a little more?
Definitely.
All right.
That is beginning and the end of Pointy Talks.
Okay. All right. Are you aware of people who work there?
Yeah, I wouldn't say who I am, but I know the big people there, and it's the beginning and the end of Pointy Talks.
Wow.
Yeah, they're a huge company, and they add a significant amount to our foreign exchange. And you can't do things like that. It was amateur hour from the start, and it's going to hurt our supply of foreign exchange and put more pressure on our exchange rate. It's too much. Too much nonsense.
Most people are not aware, but I am aware that Neutron pays $30 and $30 billion US currency in New York. Their current bill is there, paid there.
Wow.
So that's a big US. Yeah, that's a big US force in our country, and it's disappointing that the media are not picking up on this story and putting pressure on the government.
Okay.
The method to explain that.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller, for calling and highlighting it in the passionate way
Thank
that you
you.
have.
No problem at all. Enjoy your night.
And don't be a stranger to the program, eh?
Definitely not. I'll call in more often and
share your views, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You see, Brian? You see the young people calling in, you know, Brian?
I hear you. No, it's frightening. I accept that. It worries me what it is we're going to do going forward, because this government has no plan. None. And the revenues are not something that we can access quickly already. So
you have a UNC caller on the line, Mr. Manning. So brace yourself.
Let's have one left.
Yeah, you have. We have a UNC caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good night, Pastor.
Talk in your proper voice or else I'm taking you off.
Yeah, good night, Pastor. Good night, Brian.
You're right. You see how he fix his voice? Talk in your proper voice or else I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, but when we get promised, the 4%, and they tell me take your back pay and they're gonna lose your job. They're gonna get 10%, Pastor Girl.
When? Before Christmas?
Yeah?
Before Christmas?
We go find the money.
Before Christmas, yes or no?
Before Christmas, they're getting pie and turkey on their table.
Christmas.
UNC don't play, you know?
So wait now. I want to hear my UNC caller say it.
Correct.
UNC caller, are you going to get your back pay before Christmas?
I'm 100% sure about that, but we ain't playing the strong.
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on. So if you don't get your back pay by Christmas, what you willing to do?
If you don't get it by Christmas, you turn in PNM? He hung up.
I want him to come back on this show and say, great is the PNM. If he does not get his back pay by Christmas. His head will explode.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, the man hung up. When the man here, he has a call back. When the man here, he had to say he's a PNM. The man hung up me. Oh, gosh.
I want to come back here and say, great is the PNM.
PNM people, they want to come at all over that. Yeah, stay right with you. So you see what I'm telling you, Mr. Manning? There are people who believe in everybody will win.
Stop it.
The man
I
call
didn't know what to say to that.
The man call, boy. That's just to tell you how brave these UNC people are. Hello, good evening.
Zero.
Pastor Google.
Oh,
let me get fun at KFC.
The man say that the UNC eating turkey.
Eating turkey? All right. I glad for you. You go sit down right there and wait for that 10%. You ain't getting that. But I want all you to remember today, remember in Tobago, they say today that they're getting Stanley Park could export their own things to Yoga US.
What?
Yes,
Sorry,
Stanley Park in Tobago. Remember,
Telepark?
Kamala was over there today. She
Right.
gave them the license. She gave them a license to, well, a piece of paper, you know how they do the thing. And so they have permission now to go to the outside world and do export from Stanley Park.
No, I think that's not for mining.
Yeah.
Look, only leave me alone now.
But I didn't know Tobago have a port to do them things. I thought the port was only for the boats. But me, probably they get a new port. I just say.
Let me see how this go. I have Kelvin Morris.
Yes.
He's coming on next week Wednesday. So we go ask him
Very
about
good.
that.
Yes. Very good.
We staying in we lane. Brian and I staying
Yeah.
in our lane.
Yeah.
Brian staying in finance. Kelvin will come on and he will deal with Tobago.
Yes. Tobago. We will get US them and the fight. US will come up.
Yeah, but whatever US them get is for them.
No, well, I haven't hopes. I haven't faith. I trying to have some faith here. Mustard seed no pass.
Some cake.
We say you haven't faith. You haven't faith.
People say have cake. They lose their head on it.
Yeah, trust God. But sometimes God will show we think and we still ain't seeing it and we think we face and we still seeing the sky green one. It's really blue, but we saying it's green. But
well,
all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, Brian, you're really seeing again, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not doing this facetiously. I'm not doing this for games. I'm doing this for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We know that people just tape you and thing on this program and put you on TikTok. You know you have your big fans who just tape you from on this program and put you on TikTok. I just want you, right? One last time, Brian, because I believe that there are public servants who are listening and genuinely want to know the truth.
Yeah.
Could you just take us through the process of back pay, and if it is possible, how
Pastor
possible?
Google, Pastor, even if it was approved tomorrow morning, right? You still have to go through the work cards and time cards of every single public servant that falls under this agreement. That's close to 100,000 plus people, right? And it has to be done manually. You have to bring in people who are on vacation from the public service. You have to hire contractors, and they would have to work around the clock between now and then. I went through this 2 years ago. It was a painful process, and we still couldn't complete it by until about March or April, right? And that was 2 years ago. There is absolutely no chance of public servants receiving 10% before Christmas 2025. There's no chance of that. Even if they agree tomorrow morning, which they have not and will not. And plus, besides that, there's no allocation in the budget for it. The government cannot legally make that payment without coming to Parliament to have it approved. It is not possible. That's it. That's it. I can't say anything more than that.
Mr. Manning.
You're making me feel bad now. You're making me feel bad. like it's my fault. Not my fault with people. When I was there, everybody was getting their money from the Ministry of Finance on time and in full. So please do not blame me for anything.
This is Mr. Manning. Felicia said that she is hopeful, but she didn't say hopeful. She said that they will get it.
And she need to sip her Kool-Aid and have a seat. That is what the PSA president needs. Have a seat.
Mr. Manning, this is not nice. This is not nice. I'm telling you. Public servants need to ask, if they don't get their money, they need to ask the president to resign.
I agree. Totally and completely. It was a bold face. I didn't want to say the word. A bold face misrepresentation. A bold face untruth.
She need to step down. She needs to step down.
Yeah, the statement was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Let's take this last caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good night.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Pastor, one more last question for your guest, Mr. Manning. And it concerns the development of San Fernando.
You from San Fernando?
No, I'm from South Trinidad.
What part?
I'm from South Trinidad. But I just want to ask a question because I see it happen in my phase of life twice, right? With the administration complex in San Fernando, right? Where I was supposed to house various government ministries, was a total conversion after. Now I'm seeing which was going to be bigger development, right? Which is the waterfront project, which is so valuable needed for San Fernando, right? And environs. And it's under now, I think, from what I was last looking at, the Prime Minister during the last reshuffle, one of her portfolios now is to manage some of these projects, right? So I don't know if it is that she's trying now to undermine projects that was previously taken on by the PNM. But what is your views now? Is it going to be San Fernando losing out again on, as a city now that could aspire to the 21st century? Because I mean, the last project, the administration complex has turned into a hospital school. A building that look like when you go Dubai or anywhere around the world, you watch that complex, that two towers there, and you say, but wait, now this is administration complex. It's now into a hospital or a training school. Nowhere in the world that you ever see that. Only in Trinidad and San Fernando. But what is the vision now? You think that vision is going to be acquired now, coming in the future with this regime change? That is my final question. Have a very good night, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it made no sense. It wasn't even built for that purpose, and yet that is what they did. I have no idea what they're going to do with the waterfront project in San Fernando. The PNM government had spent so much time and money. I mean, the former MP, Faris Al-Rawi, he spent so much time and effort pleading and begging for the funding to get that project going and to create jobs in the constituency. So none of that. So I can't. This government is so lacking in direction and so lacking in principle that there's no telling what they're going to do. I can only hope that they continue the project and realize that it's benefit to the people of San Fernando. But these are the same people who cut the local government funding to one of the major cities of the country. They cut Port of Spain, which is the capital city, but they're more than, add 10 million a year to Chaguanas and some of the other UNC corporations. So I don't know what they expect.
Caller, good evening. Caller.
Good evening, Pastor. Good evening to the minister. You hear me?
The member of parliament, you mean MP?
Sorry, the member of parliament.
Go ahead, caller. Loud and clear.
Okay, Pastor, you were saying that the UNC don't have a plan, but I want to twist it a bit. They have a plan, and that plan is what you call information disorder. Now, let me paint the context before I go into what is information disorder.
Yeah, but you can't take too long because I had Mr. Manning on from since 8:30 is 11 o'clock.
Okay, the Minister of Homeland Security said don't take news from social media. But 64 to 69% of the global population use social media as a means to get news.
Right.
Right. Now, why this is important with respect to information disorder and why this is the UNC plan. Information disorder deals with three things: hate speech, misinformation.
All right, so what you're getting at is that you believe that they will want to pass a law to stop social media.
No, not going to stop social media. They are using social media as the means to produce an outcome.
Okay.
Right? So the first outcome we look at with respect to information disorder is hate speech. Right? Then we have misinformation and disinformation. In the interest of time, let me show you the trail with respect to information disorder. Hate speech. This is the UNC agenda. The Law Association is a eat a food filth. Ministers calling people rabid dog. In Parliament, we calling people hooligan. All those people in front there are Rawan, the black man, the Oreo. I have an ancestor name. Where did you get your name from? We seen poster with the former PM here, 2 PMs, 1 PM Rowley, with his head placed on filth. PM Young with a dog peeing on a poster of him. She called the Coast Guard murderers, and then she endorsed the U.S. by saying kill them violently. All these are aspects of hate speech to foster a disruptive political climate. This is now compounded by what we call disinformation. Today I hear on the news that the PM said that youths were deprived under the PNM. That was news. She spoke that in Tobago today. However, in 2010 to 2015 and in 2025, they shut down youth program. So this information is deliberately producing false information to produce a narrative, knowing that the information that you are putting out is false information. The PM slam CARICOM stands on Venezuela. The PM said that PNM protecting drug mafias, they are financiers and they're protecting them. And that's right, that's in the media. So this is the approach that the UNC is using, what you call information disorder. So they're using hate speech to create us against them, and they are using disinformation to willfully put false information outside there to produce a particular narrative. In the interest of time, that is all I'm going to give you. I'll go into more detail sometime during this week. Thanks for allowing me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much. All right, so I know I said that's the last caller, but this is the last of the last of the last.
I'll take one more, no problem.
Pastor Google.
Yes, sir.
And MP Manning.
Evening.
Apparently, the Democrats have learned their lesson. And they have taken the majority, if not all, of the elections that took place today. A word to the wise, because apparently the Democrats have learned their lesson. I ask the question. I hope we have learned ours. Do you think?
No, we
Have
haven't.
a good evening.
No, we
All the
haven't.
best.
No, we haven't learned our lesson.
But then the Democrats have learned their lesson in the United States.
Yeah, well, they have learned their lesson, but there are people, you are hearing people, let's not fool ourselves now. People are still saying it's 6 months, give the people and them a chance.
Well, I am saying, if we learn the lesson, we're going to pay. There are consequences if we have not learned our lesson.
We ain't learned
So I
nothing.
want to employ the people. Learn your lesson, because the Democrats in America, based on the information I just received, have learned their lesson.
What is the lesson they learn?
But they win almost everything that they went up against today.
Well,
you understand?
Right.
So therefore, I am saying very simply,
Mm-hmm.
it's very simple. I hope we would have learned our lesson. And a word to the wise, not only in Trinidad, but especially coming up in Tobago. Thank you very much, Pastor Google.
Let me tell you something now. Before you leave, I listened
Yes,
to the conversation in Tobago with the PNM.
Yes.
Did you listen to it?
Yes, I listened to most of it.
Okay. Do you think that the people in Tobago learn their lesson?
I am praying that they have.
Okay, that's how you have to
That's
say
all
it.
that's all I can say, Pastor Google.
Yeah.
And I can say exactly what MP Manning would think, that they would have learned their lesson as well.
Yeah, we think so.
Because if we have not learned our lesson,
Mm.
and we are doomed to repeat what has happened to us,
Mm.
well, then we're in really, 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 really big trouble.
Thank you.
You understand? That's all I have to say.
Thank you
But
very
the
much.
Americans, apparently, the Democrats in America, apparently have learned their lesson. And I hope we have learned ours.
Thank
have
you.
a good evening.
Same to you. On Wednesday next week, you'll hear how Tobagonians think. Wednesday next week, Mr. Manning, your closing remarks.
Yes, well, yeah, folks, please stop looking out for 10% before Christmas. That is just not happening.
Hey,
And,
don't say it so blush.
Yeah, no,
You're saying it too hurtful. That is hurtful. That Mr.
And
Manning,
please
people are
go
very...
on YouTube. No, go on YouTube and listen to the budget debate. Listen to what was said. And you will see it's right there. There's no 10% included in this budget. So you cannot get paid what is not approved by the parliament. There's nothing in the budget. So it's not going to happen. So much of this document, let's say, was fake and fraudulent, and so much of the false narrative is being pushed by members of the trade union movement. And that's why you should never have politicized trade unions. They stop serving their members and start serving their political masters. And that's what some of these guys are doing, including the PSA president. The PSA president cannot come out here with a straight face and tell people they could get payment by Christmas when negotiations haven't even started yet. That is nonsense. That is nonsense, and I believe it intentionally deceptive. So, folks, please pay attention. It is our job as the opposition to hold its government to account, and that is something we will continue to do.
Let me say thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to let Trinidad and Tobago know what is going on. And, wherever you're having your next cottage meeting, I feel I will broadcast it live with your permission.
No problem. I'm happy to have you.
All right. So you'll hear that at Constructive Talk. We might just be with Mr. Manning at his next cottage meeting, wherever that will be. So let me thank you again, Mr. Manning, for being with me, and thank you for taking calls and interacting with the listeners of Constructive Talk.
Thank you so much, Pastor Google, for having me. I'm always grateful to be on your show. and to interact with your wonderful listeners and callers.
All right.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Yeah,
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Okay, my brother. Thank you again. All right. So, Trinidad and Tobago, you just heard MP for San Fernando East, Mr. Brian Manning. So, Mr. Manning, and you all take up all the time, eh? Somebody said 10% for Christmas. And they pop a Christmas tree. I will like that. Thank you, Mr. Manning. Wow. Only really believe only again only 10? Interesting, eh? Well interesting. I don't know. Only believe Trinidadians have learned from this. Trinidadians, if what we just heard on the news, if I keep playing it over and over, will I really believe Trinidadians have learned anything from this? Huh? The reason why we have these conversations is to teach and to inform and to educate you guys. But my question is, will you really think Trinidadians is learning? Or you see how Brian calling and he talking about the Democrats and if the Democrats have learned and they learn from this and they learn from their mistakes and whatever, will you really think Trinidadians learn?
Suffer. All the other Piedamites, all the freaks out there, all the government want to let us suffer and go by the let the people suffer. All the other Piedamites, all the freaks out there, all the government want to let us suffer, let the people suffer. All the other Piedamites, all the freaks out there, all the government want to let us suffer and go by the 1% hospital and pay big money to get surgery. What is that a hospital down there doing it for free? What camera open?
Heavy, I'll take it.
Oh, you're up and go and dead.
Heavy.
I vex you see 1% hospital and pay big money to get surgery. What is that a hospital down there doing it for free? What camera open?
Heavy, I'll take it.
Oh, you're up and go and dead. 1% hospital and pay big money to get surgery. What is that a hospital down there doing it for free? What camera open?
Heavy, I'll take it.
Oh, you're up and go and dead.
Heavy.
I vex 1% hospital and pay big money to get surgery. What is that a hospital down there doing it for free? What camera open?
Heavy, I'll take it.
Oh, you're up and go and dead.
Heavy.
I vex you see
Heavy, I'll take it.
I had to play that for you, know. Yeah, I had to play that for some of you. That's how they feel about all you. That's how they think about all you. That's what they said about all here. Wake up at Trinidad and Tobago. Please. Please and thanks, eh? Wake up. Yep. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Wake up. Please, I beg of you, wake up. You understand? Wake up. Time to wake up. Why I say that? Listen to this.
When Kamala come back in, that's a day. All the people who've been suffering won't suffer no more. Vote for change. Vote for Kami. You understand? I'm standing up for that old crew. When Kamala come back in, that's a day. All the people who've been suffering won't suffer no more. Vote for change. Vote for Kami. You understand? I'm standing up for that old crew.
You understand? That is what they vote for. That is what influenced people to vote. That is what influenced people to vote. Somebody say, great is the PNM. Wow. That's what they vote for. Well, they wake up, please. Please wake up. Please, my people. My people. My people. Wake up, please.
The information provided by the speakers and or presenter on Facebook and YouTube is for general informational purposes only. All information is provided in good faith. However, Constructive Talk makes no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of this information.
Trinidad. It's back for 2 nights only. The explosive hit comedy stage play by Alan Charles. Why Didn't I Get Married? It's not good for a man to be alone. But what about the black woman? Is the church guilty of keeping women single? Or is there really a man shortage? Come laugh, cry, and think at a show that's more than a play. It's a conversation, not for the easily offended. Saturday, 1st November, 7 p.m. at USC Auditorium, Maracas, St. Joseph. Sunday, 9th November, 6 p.m. at That's SAPA San Fernando. Tickets for the USC campus, $200 in advance, $225 at the door. Tickets for SAPA, $225 in advance and $250 at the door. Get them at USC campus, A&A Pharmacy Board of Spain, Maranatha Bookshop San Fernando, Living Legacy Pharmacy Arima, or online at theticketsellers.co.uk. Why didn't I get married? Don't miss the comedy that everyone will be talking about. Brought to you by the University of the Southern Caribbean and Focus Arts Promotions.
I recall more than 3 decades ago, a senior telecommunications manager, let's call him Michael. And Michael was assigned to the task of presenting the government's position at a regional conference. Michael struggled and visibly trembled, especially since he presented after the retired North American ambassador, who had the audience in stitches, laughing up every word. I'm Dr. Madonna Dodd, and I made a silent vow then to help people like Michael, who are technically competent, but who struggle and succumb to fear when speaking in public. Now, as a communications architect, I partner with organizations and individual leaders to transform their leadership presence, including the way they express themselves. So, if your goal is to amplify your authentic voice, influence others, and lead with confidence, join me from October 28th to November 11th for our Communicate with Confidence online course. To all the Michaels, it's possible to overcome fear, step fully into your role, and lead with confidence.
During our 3 weeks course, I gained a lot of knowledge and insight on how to communicate with confidence using the different techniques and skills taught. Another thing that resonated for me is the fact that the same way singers prepare their voice, increase their lung capacity by eating healthy, doing the necessary breathing exercises, is the same way someone who is going to present should also prepare their voice. For persons who are interested in participating in this course, I say go for it, because you too will be able to find your coping skills, or how the runners and they psych up themselves when they're on the start line before they start to be focused to finish that race. You would be able to find your coping mechanism.
You give your hand to me and let me say hello, and nothing more can speak. My heart is beating so, and everyone can tell. You think you know me well, well you don't know me.
Hey guys, I am Nigel O'Connor, a singer for all seasons. I am that voice that moves you for every occasion. I am that voice that celebrates life moments one note at a time. I am Nigel O'Connor. You can contact me at 783-0054 or 754-3154. And oh yes, that's me singing in the background.
Life in the Word Prophetic Cathedral invites you to just worship.
Come on, this is personal to you. Lift it up and say, and I will not be silent.
From 7 p.m. at 166 Pointe-a-Pierre Road, Vista Bella, San Fernando.
He's a healer. He's a sustainer. He's a provider. Everything I need, he has provided. Everything I needed, he has provided. He has been good. Right when I didn't know how I was going to make it, he always showed up. He always
Bring your family and friends to Just Worship. Apostle Dr. Corey K. Grant.
Oh, when the river flows, it will bring every dead thing to life. Because he is Yahweh, Alpha and Omega. That's who he is.
Invites you to an evening of Just Worship with the Burton Sisters.
Jesus, we need a fresh
Spoken word. Ministry in dance with Faith Over Fear dance team. Come and be ministered to by several worship teams. An evening of Just Worship at Life in the Word Prophetic Cathedral at 166 Pointe-a-Pierre Road, Fistabella, San Fernando. See you there. All roads lead to Life in the Word Prophetic Cathedral International, Point Fortin. House of Oil. Oil to Overcome. Deliverance service November the 6th to the 7th, 6:30 p.m. Join Apostle Dr. Corey K. Grant at 47 Guapo Village, Main Road, Point Fortin.
You want to know why I'm keeping in the wilderness? So I can prove my glory upon you. I'm still in miracle. Watch the miracle of God. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see Sister Carol there a second. When she took that oath, did you see how fat her feet were? Who saw it? You saw it? Is it the same when she took it off?
Invite your family and friends to the service. All roads lead to Life in the Word Prophetic Cathedral International, Point Fortin. House of Oil. Oil to Overcome. Deliverance service November the 6th to the 7th, 6:30 p.m. Join Apostle Dr. Corey K. Grant at 47 Guapo Village, Main Road, Point Fortin.
You want to know why I'm keeping in the wilderness? So I can prove my glory upon you. I'm still in miracle. Watch the miracle of God. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see Sister Carol there a second. When she took that oath, did you see how fat her feet were? Who saw it? You saw it? Is it the same when she took it off?
Invite your family and friends to the service.
Relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this
God is the joy and the strength of my life. He moves all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me and never to leave me. He's there.